right, we're live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil, and I'm joined by the director of Puppet Killer, Lisa Ovies. It's good to have you back.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. It's my Puppet Killer hat.
I love it. I'm here for it.
All right, yeah. I kept it off until we went live. I was putting it on.
I know, that surprised me. I was like, okay.
Yeah. By the way, I also hit the full theme song. I was wondering why it wasn't going off. So anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I was like, dang, you've got some really cool guests.
Yeah, I surprise myself sometimes when I'm watching my own theme song. But so give people an idea, if they're not aware yet, of what Puppet Killer is.
Puppet Killer is my homage to 1980s horror. It's a group of kids go to a cabin in the woods, surprise, surprise, and they get hunted down by a killer who's obsessed with 1980s horror. So every time he kills an homage to another sort of iconic killer. And it is definitely a horror comedy.
Yeah, well, you say it's a horror comedy. It definitely is, like you said. But I also, I always think in a horror comedy, like the horror has to still be horror. So
Yes.
like the gore is really well done in Puppet Killer, and you don't like cut away from it. Was that like obviously it's intentional, but did you know that going in, like this is the vibe I want to do for Puppet Killer?
100%. And I think there is like slapsticky horror comedy, and then there is a horror that has elements of comedy, but like you said, is really truthful and as gory as you can do. So that was always my thing was, lean into the drama. I love practical effects. I love on-camera kills. Those were the things. I mean, we're dealing with a puppet. We're dealing with some crazy things we hadn't dealt with before. And I was adamant that like so much of it happened on camera. And, there was times where I had people on the other side of the camera with like a blue screen ready to go. And I was like, one more take. And we managed to do it. So it was very intentional.
Have you done that before in screen like effects?
Not like that. Not like that. No, this was my first big horror, and also the first time I had ever dealt with puppets outside of sort of a short film that inspired me, but I was just a producer on it. And by that, I just mean it was like literally a comedy musical with puppets. And I was kind of like, this is not my jam. I loved helping and I was happy to be a producer on it. But witnessing what they did with the puppet is kind of what inspired me to do this. But I never touched the puppet or knew what the hell we were doing when we went to picture. That's for sure.
Yeah. Did anyone from that short work on Puppet Killer?
Yeah. So a gentleman named Jack Fox, who made the puppets on that one, made our puppet, or he was the puppet wrangler. And I thought he made the puppets. And then after he made this amazing Simon, I realized maybe it was the first time he'd ever made one. And I met an amazing woman named Rosalie Yagihara, who was the first AD on that. And she first did ours as well.
So,
no, that's a lie. Also, sorry, Eric Carberry was the production designer. Yeah, no, I'm lying. I think a lot of our team ended up coming over.
Were they all horror people? Because you said the other puppet thing was a horror musical. So were they like?
It wasn't a horror at all. It was a comedy. It had no horror in it whatsoever. I would say half my team loves horror, the other half doesn't, and they love making films with us, but they think we're kind of crazy. And I think when you're making the gore, as you know, it's not scary. It's fun. It's like it's kind of like a science issue of like, how are we going to get all of this to work? But I make my team go to horror movies with me, and they're squirmy, which makes me laugh because I'm like, you do this.
Yeah. Was there anything in specific for Puppet Killer? Like, you guys should see this.
What do you mean? Oh, like that I gave them. That I gave them. Okay. Halloween, Evil Dead. My camera team wasn't big horror fans, and there's a lot of things where I intentionally change the camera, can't change a little bit of the color. So yeah, early Sam Raimi, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean the typical.
Yeah, well, it's important for people who've seen Puppet Killer because there's a lot of references to the classic slashers.
Yes, yeah, and that's just it. I mean, I think you kind of enjoy it if you don't get it.
Yeah, I agree.
But well, I don't know. Some people might not get some of the choices I made. But I think, made it more enjoyable for the crew to get the jokes and kind of know what we were going for.
And I don't want to spoil all those, but there's a certain reference. I'll say it. It's a Psycho. And I'm glad that's in there because I think that's overlooked as a slasher movie.
Same. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think the way that people define films, slashers, horrors, people can get so overly specific, but I agree. I think it's a great slasher, and it's got some beautiful psychological issues and things that it talks about that I think are important, and so like the underlying root for a lot of the films back then.
Yeah, 100%. Which, so what is it about slasher movies? I know you're a horror movie fan, but are slashers your favorite subgenre or one of them?
I think so. I love practical effects. So I think the first Friday the 13th, I remember very clearly the first time I watched it. I mean, it's so funny saying like I don't want to spoil a film that's like 30, 40 years old. But
Yeah.
when we get out of the Jeep and a woman is running through the forest and she gets her neck slit. And I just remember being like, it was in camera back then and the prosthetic looked so great. So I think part of me loves like creative, crazy kills, which maybe makes me sadistic. I don't know. Like I remember the first time I saw the curling iron in Sleepaway Camp, I was like, damn, like, well, I've not seen that before. So I think from an artist point of view, I kind of think about how I would love to do it. And then I love the old camp. I do. I really love the camp of those films.
Yeah, and I think they weren't necessarily intentional, which I think
No,
if you intentionally go in to make a campy movie, I'm sure there's exceptions that work, but usually I don't think it works.
I don't think so because you're winking to the camera and suddenly you go from scream to scary movie, right? And I
Mhm.
think that's a huge thing. And that was something I kept telling everyone. I know this film is ridiculous. We have a puppet, but if we play it ridiculous, it's going to lose any tension. So if we treat it like a drama, it's actually going to hold up for audiences in a way that thank God it has. But yeah, no, the slapsticky way of doing it, I think, makes it loose pretty quick.
Yeah, 100%. Even stuff that I really like, that it's all, older people playing, high school students, but they're all totally, playing it completely straight, and,
Yes.
that makes it way more funny to me.
Well, and I think our lead, Alex,
Yeah, he's
just
awesome, man.
never gets enough credit for how phenomenal of a job this gentleman does. I mean, he is 6'5". He is a beast of a man. He's constantly playing villains, and suddenly he's coming in and he's softening himself and he's making choices with his eyebrows and his shoulders, the way he holds himself. I mean, everyone does a great job. This cast is unbelievable, but he is legendary. I am so grateful. We could not have pulled this crazy thing off without him, for
Yeah,
sure.
he's great, and I would think going in, maybe someone would say, "Oh, this guy's like, you're not casting the right person," or so what was the thought process there? Because he is perfect in the movie.
He's phenomenal, and I
Yeah.
definitely had people tell me I was making the wrong choice. I directed him in a short comedy that I had done a few years earlier. No, even maybe a year earlier, and I had the idea for Puppet Killer in my head, but I didn't have my lead. And I did a scene with him. He and I played opposite each other, and he was so funny. He had such great comedic timing. He was deadpan delivery, and I just went, "Oh my god, that's my Jamie." And so I pitched it to him, and obviously, justifiably, he was like, "I can't do that." But luckily he trusted me. I trusted him, and I could not imagine a different person doing it.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's so good at it.
Yeah, 100%. Jamie Hill. Hello, Lisa. Jamie Hill from Skinamarink.
Hello.
A weird name, Baby Snake Askmaster 420, but he says he bought my Meet the Feeble shirt and he loves puppets.
I love it. I've got a couple of Neil's shirts with Simon on them.
Yeah, I have the graphic here to pop up at some point. Bloody Pack Film says hello. So for Simon, now did they create Simon's look before you write the script, or do you write the script and like I need Simon?
No, I started with the idea of this puppet, and I had the psychology of him, and while the script was being developed, we were developing the look of him, and he went through different iterations. Like there's a book out there, oh wait, I have it, about Christmas horror movies, and actually one of our original concept sketches is in it, and he has like nails for teeth, and he's got a trench coat, and he's really nasty looking, and then at one point this adorable snaggletooth Simon came out, and it was like, oh my god, that's him, that's the puppet, and he popped on camera. He just looks so great. And so yeah, I remember very clearly getting a video from Jack, who put him like dancing in a video, doing this little voice, and I went, "That's it. That's the guy right there."
Yeah, I think that's the right decision because I think if you have like an evil looking doll, I mean, maybe it'll work for something else, but I always think like, why would someone buy that in the first place?
Right, like, why are you giving that to your child to snuggle up with at night?
Yeah.
Agreed, agreed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I know they're big movies, the Annabelle movies, but the doll's like very, very evil looking. Like who would want that in their house to begin with? I mean, maybe
Yeah,
someone, crazy or something, but or a
agreed.
horror person, but not a normal person.
No, no. I, on the other hand, would die to have that doll. Uh,
Yeah.
I once went to Amalgamated Dynamics Incorporated, which is the studio that made it, and the doll was there, and I was just like so obsessed.
Do you still have Simon?
I do. He's on my bed right now. I'm
Oh,
looking
sweet.
at it.
I popped Simon up here in the corner, the 8-bit
Oh,
Simon.
there he is. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's got his knife, as he should.
Yeah, and he looks very happy. He's got the one snaggle tooth, as you mentioned.
I do love that you got his snaggletooth. That makes me unbelievably happy.
Yeah, they're a little harder than what people think to get any type of character in something very small because they're legit 32 by 32 bit.
No, because you have his personality there. You did a great job.
Thank you.
I remember when we got our theatrical release and we weren't able to go to the States, all of us wore our t-shirts from you and we went to the theater.
Oh, that's awesome. So actually to talk about last time I had you on the show was you had the theatrical release through Regal for Puppet Killer.
Mhm.
And it was a long time coming to do that. And now, you're at festivals again. So what's been like the process for Puppet Killer from festivals that had the theatrical release and now festivals?
The festival choice for me was because we were in a 2-year long legal battle with our distributors, which sucked. And there wasn't a lot I could do until I got the film back. So we have since more than won that lawsuit, thankfully, but lawsuits suck. They cost a lot of money and take a lot of time. And while the process was going back on, we were in standstill. No one's going to want to buy your film while you're in a legal dispute. And so I just kind of wanted something that could help me take control of it again. And so I thought, I don't know, why don't I just stick it out at a couple festivals and see if it does anything? And I did not expect it to get another life. And it's just been so much fun and really rewarding to see it in the theater with fans. And so many people that have been waiting for it coming out to watch it again has been really rewarding. And lawsuits suck. It doesn't matter if you're right. Doesn't matter if you win. It has helped me fall in love with the film again.
Well, that's good for many reasons. Like you said, I'm sure, you could get bitter or just like, man, I don't want anything to do with this movie at some point with, terrible lawsuits and everything.
Yep.
And to go see it with people again and to feel their reaction to it. I'm sure that's obviously for anyone, that's a great experience, but especially with like this long road with the movie.
Absolutely. It was genuinely really important to me because I did get bitter. There was a while where I was like, fuck this movie. But I mean, our team did such an amazing job making it. It deserves to be out there. We have so many great people that have loved it and are waiting to see it. And so, yeah, without question, seeing it again with fans in the theater really made me fall in love with it. It's weird. I've made films that aren't good. I think most of us have a pretty good idea of that. But the last time I saw it in the theater in November in Newfoundland, I was like, oh my God, this film is good. Like I genuinely still enjoy watching it. And that I can't always say about everything. So
I love it. And not just because you're here, but no, I think it's a super fun movie. I'm a fan of horror comedies, but they have to be a certain way for me. And like we had already said, but because the horror really works in the movie, and that also makes it funnier to me. I don't know, it really works for me.
Thank you. And that was a big risk for all of us. And now obviously as a team, we've made a bunch of horrors since, but yeah, there was a lot of like figuring it out as we went and everyone did such a great job. So I love the gore in it. I think within the first 7 minutes, there's like 27 stabs or something.
Yeah, really the first scene. So we're not spoiling anything. Yeah.
My sound designer loved that.
I like the sound too, because I think sometimes that's overlooked. And that's something, even if you have a very small budget, you don't have to overlook, is if you have some, cool effects with the gore, it really adds so much to it.
Well, and our sound designer is amazing. Like, obviously,
Mhm.
we're incredibly lucky as a team to have such an amazing sound team. Mark Wilshire is the person who mixes our sound in London. Stephen Gallagher is our composer, and the two of them do Peter Jackson's movies. Like, they just
Oh, wow.
did The Last Lord of the Rings. And I am like constantly floored that these people have been making films with us since Puppet Killer. So we are now all about to do another short and another feature together. Robert Fineff is our sound designer. And so I would always say, when you're making horror, it doesn't matter what your budget is, if your sound is good and your characters are good, like your actors sell it, you can kind of almost forgive everything else. Audiences are pretty forgiving in so many elements. And so however we lucked into this team for sound has been a fucking gift from day one. Like, I'm so grateful. So grateful.
Years ago, I actually tried to get Peter Jackson on the show. I was like, he's not going to do it. And I actually got a reply, and they're like, he would be interested, because I actually want to talk about Dead Alive. I put that in the email, and they're like, he'd be interested in doing this, but he's busy making King Kong. And I was like, oh,
Right.
okay.
You should try again. Dead
I should, yeah.
Alive is I cannot wait to go to a screening. I haven't seen it in the theater before, and I would just love to go to a screening in the theater. And
Yeah, I've never seen it, because it was one I rented a lot as a kid, but maybe it did get a release here. I'm not sure, but I never saw it in the theater.
no, I mean, I got into horror later in life. I was raised by a single mom, and we had to literally rent a VHS player and a tape on the weekends, and rightfully so. She was not renting me horror. So I remember the first time seeing Dead Alive and just seeing that amount of blood and being like, this is amazing.
Yeah, the perfect, like I was saying, no, very much a comedy horror, but the
Yes.
gore is definitely there. So
Yes. Yeah.
So I was raised by a single mom too, but the opposite. She rented all the horror movies for me, so it was a different. She
My
even
mom
signed a thing at the video rental that I could rent anything. So
Oh,
I
that's
could go in
amazing.
there.
No, my mom would rent things like Old Yeller, and I would get so angry because don't fuck with the animals, And so I would just like go have a hissy fit in my room, and she and my brother would watch movies. But no,
Yeah, that's in some ways that's probably more damaging than. Well, I
I
guess it
think
depends on the horror
so.
movie, but yeah.
Especially now I found out that I'm autistic, and I'm like, of course, I had such visceral responses to those. I was like, what a disgusting movie.
Well, some of those kids' movies I found more disturbing than all the horror I watched. Like, was it Bridge to Birth? Whatever it is. It was a story to a little girl like drowns to death, or the boy drowns to death, or where the kid gets stung by the bees. There, My
That was
Girl.
really
Like,
sad, my girl.
yeah,
I was so emotionally destroyed by the horse. Atreyu is the boy.
yeah, and the Never-Ending Story.
Oh, that destroyed me. That destroyed me. That, and I sobbed at ET. I just thought the whole process was heartbreaking. Yeah, I think we definitely we have changed the way we handle children, because I don't think kids would be getting those movies nowadays. But yeah,
Yeah.
shit fucked
So
me
did
up.
has your mom watched Puppet Killer?
Yes. She
Oh, cool.
does not like horror, but she's so beautifully supportive of my career. So she will go to
That's
almost
good.
anything, but sometimes she just wants me to like break it down ahead of time, which is awesome. And she bakes food for every one of our films. It doesn't matter the budget. Everyone always asks for my mom's baking because she's so awesome. So if we do a short or a feature, it doesn't matter. My mom's baking is always there. So she's always got like a little IMDb credit, and she'll come to the screenings, and she's
That's sweet. Yeah.
but
Did
she
she make Simon cookies, or whether?
she's scared of Simon. She does not
Okay.
like Simon in her home. And I forgot, my brother, my very first movie I ever made as an actress, I was killed by zombies, as you do. And then I came back to life and was shot in the face. And my brother showed her that video, and it was very disturbing for her. So I will caveat saying my mother does not enjoy watching me die on camera, which I think is completely fair.
I kick ass for the Lord. Exactly. Blood-packed films. Yeah. That is a line from, for people who don't know, line from Dead Alive, or Brain Dead, I guess that's named in New Zealand. So,
I think if someone called it Brain Dead, I wouldn't get it, to be honest.
yeah, I probably wouldn't either at first. I would probably think they meant, what's that 90s movie? It might not be Brain Dead, something like that. But anyway, February 21st and 22nd, I should have mentioned this right to begin with.
Right.
So we're playing at Renegade Film Festival. which happens to be 2 days after my birthday. But
Ooh, you wouldn't happen to be there, will you?
I would love to be there, but Annabelle cannot get off work, so
Sad
I
cry.
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been nice to see you. But I'll be
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Yeah, I was really hoping to go.
Yeah.
I love Renegade Film Festival. I love festivals, but Renegade's a great festival.
You know what? Real talk. This is not to blow smoke up their ass because anyone who knows me will say they are not surprised that I just got diagnosed with autism. I don't bullshit. So I'm not blowing smoke up their ass. I love Vanessa so much. I only had the privilege of meeting her in person last year at Crimson Screens, pardon me. And I just immediately fell in love with her. But we were all chatting at Nightmares. And I was asking, like, what is the festival that I've never been to? And everyone just kept saying Renegade. So I bought my flights and my hotel before getting accepted.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I was like, okay, if I do it ahead of time, it'll be more affordable. But I just, I heard such great things. And I think it's really important for us to like support even when we don't get in, which is not financially feasible a lot. But I wanted to go build relationships and develop not develop, but like go support. And I had only heard great things. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and not that people make their movies to get cool awards, but they have one of the coolest awards.
I know. I was just at Michael and Sophia's like 2 days ago. I saw one on the shelf and I was like, that's a damn cool. Like, note to Vanessa, I do not have one here. I will make room. I will make room.
Yeah, so we kind of split up some of the awards. Me, Michael, and Sophia, depending. I did notice they kept that one, but that's fine. That's fine. But I do have some back here. I have my Genre Blast one back.
Oh, I was with you guys when you got that one.
Yeah, it was amazing. But it is an amazing award. And Michael and Sophia, they're cool folks too.
They are. We're about to do a movie together, which I'm really excited about.
Awesome. That's very exciting. So writing this, did you co-write the script? How did that work? I'm sorry for Puppet Master. Puppet Killer.
I will take credit for Puppet Master if you want. I came up with the idea, and I was producing, directing, just doing all of these things. And I think at the time, like now, I am a screenwriter. I do it all the time. I'm very confident in it. At the time, I wasn't super confident in my ability to write it to the caliber that I wanted it to be. We got all of those actors before we had a script, which is terrifying. And so I got Kevin Mosley, who is an amazing writer. I had been in a horror movie the year before called Suspension, which I think is called Babysitter's Night or something now. And he had written it. He's a great guy. And so I just said, like, I don't know if you can take the idea in my head and make it work because I am so busy doing these other things. And so he and I would get together in a Starbucks. We would sit, we would chat, we would throw ideas around. He would throw me pages and they were so great. He loves, obviously, 80s horror as much as I do. And we worked it together, but he did a phenomenal job on the script. Like, I am eternally grateful that he took such a ridiculous idea in my brain. I knew the characters, I knew what I wanted, but he made it just so fucking good.
Yeah. So you had the actors first. Did that help shape like how you wrote the characters or how the characters were written?
Not really. When I write, yes. So I have another feature film that we're shooting this summer that's cast before the script again. I have a bad habit of not learning from my mistakes. And I'm 100% writing for the voice of the actors that I know. But I think while I developed what those characters might be like, Kevin, I think, just writes for what works for the page, and really went into like, yeah, I don't think so. I think we had a conscious choice to not do it specifically for Alex because we wanted to write for a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah, because that makes sense. Because I think if you did, it would have been a different movie.
Yeah,
and I may not, it probably wouldn't have worked as well.
And
you never know until you do it, but I don't think it would have worked as well. Yeah.
However, it worked out with gold, and I'm so grateful. But Limosh Du, who plays Curtis in the movie, I think, his best friend is Richard Harmon, and Richard Harmon was on the 100 at the time, and that was one of the only things was he was like, I'd love it if Richard could be in it, and I was like, yeah, sure, great. Richard's a phenomenal actor, and he was like, I think it would be funny if we played brothers because they are such obvious different ethnicities, and I was like, I love that. I love that so much. So that was like one of the only things we really sort of wrote in according to the cast, and one joke about it. But Lee also was the voice of Simon. So Lee was in it from day one. Lee was the very first person I called when I got this idea, actually. And I was like, am I crazy? Nice. And he was like, no, I actually love it. I was like, okay, great, let's make it.
Yeah, and Richard's in the new Final Destination coming out, I believe.
Yeah, that was done in Vancouver. I'm excited for it.
So Lee's also the voice of Simon.
Yes, he is.
So how did that come about to have him, in the movie and the voice?
I think because he was the first person I pitched it to, and it was originally a short. It was super self-indulgent. I was producing at the time. I was making other people's content, which I didn't mind at all, but I was like, I want to make something for me. And it was like a little bit over the top with the comedy. And he and I was a casting director on a film at the time, and Lee was my reader. And so we were just like shooting the shit, going back and forth. We both love horror. And so I was just bouncing ideas off of him at the beginning. And then he started developing the voice. And then I believe him and his girlfriend came up with Simon's song. Simon sings a song in the movie, and he pitched it to me, and I was like, that's amazing. So yeah, Lee was there day one. Like a huge part of how cute Simon is credit to him.
So did he start like just doing the voice? Like
it was pretty close to what that was day one. Like he found it pretty quick, and I was like, that's it. That's amazing. And yeah, it was adorable. It was adorable.
So how does it go from a short to a feature film?
It was such an interest. I was traveling the festival circuit. I had produced a couple feature films that were doing really well. I was also acting in a feature that was traveling the circuit. And I just started talking about it, and it just snowballed so fast. It was people going, great, we'd love to be interested, like involved in your next film. Tell us about it. Oh my gosh, that sounds so great. The next thing you know, I would say within probably a month of me coming up with it, I realized it was bigger than a short. And investors came on board, and literally everything was going. And I was like, fuck, I have to write this. Like, this is terrifying. I think within less than a year from the inkling of an idea to going to picture.
So was that a hard thing? Obviously, you have to write a feature is longer than a short, but is it, did it have the same amount of characters? Like, yeah.
Pretty similar. Yeah, we just expanded it out, and the short was a little bit more slapsticky, a little bit more leaning into the comedy, but that's not going to sustain itself for a feature. And I'm just so glad we did that tonal change too. Yeah, no, it just sort of expanded very quickly became what this is, which
because sometimes a short that someone expands into a feature doesn't work, because a lot of times shorts are almost like a one joke kind of deal. Like there's a punchline because it's a short, it's like and so even my mind, because I've seen Puppet Killer multiple times, I don't know how it would really work as a short. So there's a lot of stuff there.
I think that's why it grew so fast, is that the more we would talk about it, the more it would evolve, and the more I was like, no, there's too much meat here, and then very quickly working with Kevin to expand it, he came up with some ideas that I don't want to ruin anything, but there's a Halloween moment that when he pitched it to me, I died. I was like, because it's the stupidest kill I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, I need to do that.
So I'm a fan in movies when people like are fighting inanimate objects. I just always find it very entertaining. So we have some of that. Well, Simon is puppeteered, but there's also sometimes when he's involved, you got to fight with that. So again, like you got to keep you keep it serious in the movie, which I think is very fun. But just for the actors, filming that, and for you as a director, like what is that like on screen when you're like, okay, now you get I don't want to give the movie away, but there's a scene in a hot tub, and they've got to basically fight around with the hand of
Gigi Salguero. She did that so well. How lucky was I to have her? Number one, because she's such a talented actress. Plus, she's a director, so she had one take. We dropped a GoPro in the hot tub. We didn't even know. We didn't even have a monitor for the GoPro. And that beautiful woman died sorry, spoiler, everyone dies. and like landed towards camera. And like I looked at the footage later and I was like, only Gigi could have done that. Yeah, it was a lot of talking and a lot of trust. There is one scene that was shot that did not make the movie where Ponovik's character full on fights Simon, and we choreographed it, and it just that was the one scene that leaned too far into like, no, this is absolutely ridiculous, which anyone who hasn't seen it would go like, every element of this film sounds ridiculous, but somehow every element feels real. Like it's the Chucky thing, right? Like when me and Kevin were talking about it, it was how long would it take something this big to get around the house? The guy, yes, while the idea that the puppet is alive is ridiculous, every other element still, he adheres to gravity. He has to go through all of the laws of physics and everything. And so that was the one scene that just looked ridiculous. And I was like, this has to go. Like this has to go. But I mean, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if someone would tell me the scene with Gigi and the puppet, I would think it probably sounds funny, but it probably comes off very ridiculous, like you're saying. But watching it, she does an amazing job, and she's really selling everything, and it totally works in the movie.
It's so fun being behind the camera on those. I mean, and again, it's casting. My cast was amazing. I will never. It takes a village to make a film, and as a director, yes, there's some trust and some. I would not have this film without them. They all did an unbelievable job. But it's so funny being on the other side of the camera, and like it's a piece of fuzz. Bobby picked into her hair. There's my production designer and my best friend and producing partner Eric, who did the Puppet Killer or the Puppet movie way back, who's like crouched under a hot tub. Like the physicality of what we're doing is so ridiculous, and for the actors to be able to on action just sell it that way is just ridiculous. And we didn't have enough time to reset. We could not dry her hair again, so she had one go, and it's in the movie, and she did an amazing job. Sometimes being low budget is the win.
So when you first see the footage off the GoPro, like I assume going in it you're nervous, and then when you see it, everybody's just like, yeah, 100%. Like cheer.
And like she literally perfectly frames herself. I have seen this movie so many times, and every time that scene happens, I just slow clap for her. I'm like, you fucking legend, Gigi. She is so great. She's so great. And she's in a movie called Sleep Tight that I think is also at Renegade. Because I have two movies playing there, and Gigi's also in that one as well. So,
yeah, I haven't watched. I haven't watched all shorts yet. Not just because I'm there, but I was watching some to do the interviews. But there's for people who aren't familiar with festivals, you have the features, which are great, but the shorts are also awesome, and it's also a lot of times your only chance to see them on the big screen with people.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think shorts are phenomenal for people for, trying different things or whatever. My team started doing them during the strike because there wasn't really much else we could do, and we wanted to keep working, and I wanted to learn more about doing stunts and stuff like that. And I don't know what else to do with the short except share it with an audience. And so when it gets accepted somewhere, I think it's so much fun. But I think people like great short blocks are just awesome because it's one great idea after another, and a good short, you're in and you're out. You're just, like you said, it's more of a punchline or an idea, which can be so entertaining. And you get the opportunity to meet so many filmmakers in one block.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great experience. It's just fun, even if you're just there to watch them. But then a lot of times you say, "Wow, that was cool." Then you might go and you might meet the person who made it after, or go look up their other work, and then you can follow them and see what else they've done. Or it's also fun to someone who made a cool short, and then to see them go on to make other stuff, maybe make a feature down the road. It's a fun experience.
Absolutely, and I think enough people don't give credit to shorts. I don't think they're easy to do. We had to reverse engineer our brains during COVID and the strikes. I had written shorts. I hadn't directed them. I think that takes a skill. Then I started traveling and seeing Timothy Troy and all of his micro shorts, and then I went, you know what? Now I'm going to make a micro short. I'm going to learn how to tell a story in 2 pages. It's not easy.
No, yeah, and there are more platforms now for shorts to go, but still it's limited once they're finished with a festival, where they go after that. Sometimes, they might go on
Yeah.
someone's YouTube, or sometimes they just kind of, you never see them again.
Yeah, and I think Alter, and there are
Yeah,
some
there's
streaming
more
services
platforms than
for
there used to be.
shorts. Yeah, but I agree. I think it's as much of a life as you can get out of the short. You hopefully do, and you build some connections, and you learn some skills, or you do something, and then you move on to the next and hope for the best.
So, the importance of festivals, I think we talked some about it, but for someone out there who, they're making shorts, or they want to get involved, or they're making their own independent film, what would you tell them the importance of going to a festival is?
I think there's so many valuable things that come out of going to a festival. I mean, even before you are at a point where you can make your own film, I would always say look into the festivals in your own city or within driving distance. Look at the ones that have cast and crew in attendance. You can go, you can support, you can meet, you can ask questions, you can be in the audience for the Q&As, you can meet other filmmakers and start building your community in that capacity, and then start making short films, submitting them, and then expanding that community, I think is so important. I know different genres operate differently. I very much work within the genre industry, and I think that's really lucky for us because we have such a supportive community, and the genre film festival community specifically is like summer camp and family. But that ability to network, to get out there, I have made so many films because of other people that I have met at film festivals, or I've had job offers because of that, gotten distribution or sales, and yeah, it's invaluable. It's absolutely invaluable. Even if you don't get in, if you can afford to go, going expands your network. Like I said, I got my tickets to Renegade. I bought my airplane and my hotel before I knew if I was playing. I'd submitted a bunch of films because I had never gone there before, and I was like, if one gets in, great, but otherwise I'm going to go anyway.
Yeah, no, you have a great time, and that's how I got involved in making anything. Was I was going to festivals because I liked them and for the show, and then I made the short with Michael and Sophia. Then we had fun doing that, and then we made the feature
Which was
film,
the first one you did with them?
Umbilicus Desidero, which is
Okay.
a documentary about the loss of my belly button. And if you've not
Okay.
seen it, I will send you the link to it.
Please do. I have not. I think the first one I saw of any of theirs was Aaron's about the bathtub. I can't remember the name of it, but I
Oh
saw
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's kind of Reanimator-ish.
Yeah, yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved
I
it.
loved it too. It's
Okay.
great.
And then
Yeah.
I met them in New York. And that was it. Like I decided to keep them. And that's exactly how the work. I think we just become friends, and we're like, now you're mine. Now we're gonna be family.
Yeah. And I like what you said too about look for one like locally to you. It doesn't have to be a giant festival. You probably have something even like a small 1 day thing,
Yeah.
and you're going to meet people if you want to get involved at all, or just go and have a good time. And for me, there's something special about the quote unquote smaller festivals because everyone's watching the films on one screen. So there's a more community
Yes.
feel. And you'll also see a lot of the people must come every year, and you can become part of that. It's a great experience.
It really is. And like, I think film school is amazing, but I didn't go to film school. So I didn't have the money to, and I did do a full-time acting program, but I also very quickly realized that I wanted to be in more control. I didn't really love the roles being offered to women, but I kind of didn't know what else to do. So I did everything I tell people to do. I went to the festivals. I met everyone. I did everything I possibly could in the local community. Then I started volunteering. I volunteered for 10 years. I produced, I did costume design. No, that's a lie. I don't know why I just said that. I did production design. I did everything but costume.
Maybe you will next. Yeah.
But I did so many different roles trying to learn to get to a point where I understood other departments to direct better, but also just to build community. So, it really does. It is so valuable.
You said something there that's a recurring theme with a lot of, especially female directors have on the show, is that they weren't getting roles that they wanted, or they just didn't see any that were for them, and so they decided I'm going to make my own thing for myself, or for other female actors.
Yeah, I just I didn't love the way women were portrayed. I think there's so many times, especially if you're looking at a thriller or a horror or sci-fi, where it's a group of people making choices to try and get to the end. Like, so often you can remove the female characters and you would still get to the end. Like, they don't have value. And I just found that really frustrating. Like, women are beautiful and amazing and complex and flawed, and we aren't just a bunch of tits. Tits are great. We can love tits, but we can also, have more value. And so very quickly I started writing and producing, not out of love of producing, out of necessity. And I keep saying I'm not going to, and I'm literally right now producing a short with Michael and Sophia that we're going to shoot in LA, and then a feature film this summer. And I really keep saying I'm going to be done, but it's because I keep wanting to create these moments and opportunities and stories that I still don't see out there.
Now, when you said that you're going to be done, does that mean you don't want to? Every time you make something, you think you're not going to do anything else?
Producing.
Producing, okay.
Just producing. I love writing. I love directing. I love acting. I'm still doing all of that. But I keep saying, like, I'm not going to produce anymore. It's so time consuming. I fucking hate doing it. I'm good at it, but it's not really my passion. But then it's a way to get content that I like made. So I keep doing it.
Now, how is go back to the female directors for a minute? How has that changed over the last 10 years or however long you've been involved? Because I would say independent, especially independent like film, independent horror films and the festivals were ahead of the curve there, where it's it's very much more inclusive as opposed to some other places.
You're not wrong. I still think horror has a lot of gatekeeper. I mean, nerd culture in general has a lot of gatekeepers, and it's very much can be a bit of a bro culture. But you're not wrong. Where I would kind of bump up against that one would be I didn't see a lot of women at the festivals, but I found the festivals.
That's something. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you. That's something I've heard the same from other people. Same idea.
But when I was there, they were so supportive. They were so wonderful, And so, I mean, that's why I started the film school I did. It's not because I wanted to. It's not because I have the time. It's because I kept meeting these women that wanted to make film, that wanted to be a part of the horror communities or the festival communities, but they felt that they didn't have that invitation or there was a bit of gatekeeping. But you're not when I was often one of the only women at a festival, and if it was horror specific, I always felt included. And I really do think you're right that they were ahead of the curve in that capacity. But I think in general, because you have to make the film to get to the festival, there was probably some hesitation from a lot of
and I say as a guy, so I don't know exactly, but
you're not wrong. And it's starting to get better. And there's festivals, I know we're here talking about Renegade and I love it, but there's festivals like Fogfest who literally sought me out because they are a bunch of white dudes making that have a horror festival. And they were like, we want to not just talk the talk. We want to find women that make horror. We want to bring them out and we want to highlight them and we want to get more diversity. Like, people like that are amazing. So please support Fogfest and Renegade Film Festival. I am all about supporting these great companies and people that actually help diversity.
And the area for Renegade's really cool too, because there's a lot of neat little weird local places you can eat at, which for me is a big part of the festival. Like you want some I like to go eat, so you want to go somewhere and have some good food.
I am so excited to go to Atlanta, Georgia. I've never been. I am a vegetarian vegan, so often I'm in Austin at a film festival and I'm like, I'm wasting.
So the last couple of years I traveled out with Michael and Sophia, so I found certain places. I was surprised. Some places, like when we were at Genre Blast, I thought it was like in the mountains of Virginia, they wouldn't be able to find anywhere, but actually there was a lot more places than I expected.
I did okay there for sure. So yeah, no, I'm excited to go to Atlanta. Vanessa's been amazing, sent me a couple suggestions about places I could go. I'm all about eating and seeing the location too, because as we were saying earlier, I've been to Kansas City, but I've never been to Kansas City. I've been to so many film festivals, and you get home and you go, I don't know anything about this town and the people. So my new goal now, and I did it at Austin Revolution, I did it at Genre Blast. We got up in the morning at Genre Blast because I don't drink. So everyone would be hungover and start the festival at noon. We got up in the morning, we drove to Gettysburg. We went to Gettysburg, had a full day, came back, annoyingly chipper, and everyone's just waking up. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So that was the first one that I made a conscious choice. When we just went to Austin Revolution last year, we drove down to San Antonio for the day. I have thoughts about that city. But you know what? I went and I saw it and it was great. And yeah, I think it's so special to see where you're going to.
Yeah.
And I'll eat my face off there. I'll ask Sophia.
I don't know if this, if you mind me asking anything, but did you always not drink at festivals?
No.
Or?
Oh, God. I drank enough in the first 40 years of my life. I had a very dear friend, Kirby Morrow, who was the voice of Goku and a lot of other amazing characters. He was a voice actor and a voice artist and one of my dearest friends. He passed away from drinking during COVID. And I just stopped drinking to mourn him and to process. And I felt that it was very hypocritical to be drinking while I mourned him. And then in the way that they tell you, every element of my life got better. And my mental health got better. My physical health got better. My career got better. And I just went, I don't drink anymore. And that was 4.5 years ago. And I've never had a drink since.
Yeah, March will be 5 years for me, and similar thing is just everything's better all around. Was there ever a point though that it was difficult to do social events at festivals?
I was very nervous about that. I have autism and I have ADHD. I have social anxiety, and so one of the things that I noticed while I unpacked the autism and the ADHD, reading certain things, was that a lot of people that are neurodivergent drink to mute their symptoms, and I went, oh, that makes sense. I was fortunate that I quit during COVID. So right. I, as an introvert, was living my best life. I wasn't going out. So I was able to really ingrain it as a habit for the first year prior to having to do that. I did get nervous. I really did. The first festival I went to not drinking was Nightmares, and Meg was there and she doesn't drink. And I kind of leaned on her a little bit. And I was like, it's not that I missed drinking, but could you still have fun? And the answer is yes.
100%.
The answer is yes. Right? You know what I've started doing? I've just started drinking Coke. I just have some sugar. I have a blast. I have fun. I go to bed early. My mornings are better. And I just sometimes peace out when people get to a position. You know, like the only difference is now I'm not one of the loud, annoying people, whereas I definitely was before. My writing partner, Seth, never met that version of me. And every once in a while, he'll hear a story and he's like, I'm kind of sad I didn't meet her. Trust me, there's a lot of stories about Lisa out there drinking on the festival circuit. She had a great time. But I will pleasantly say I have not stopped doing the festival circuit since not drinking, and I still have such a great time.
Yeah. I was worried that it wouldn't be fun to be around, so I totally understand what you're saying. And the only thing I will say, I don't know if karaoke is very fun without drinking, but besides that, it's
no,
it's been
I
good.
never want to do karaoke though. Like, no, just a hard no. I don't want to do that.
And I quickly realized that no one else cares. No one's like pressuring you or anything like that. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's so funny. Every once in a while, I'll go like, oh, thank you, I don't drink, because I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, why? And I'm like,
I've had
heroin?
Why would you ask that?
It's because it's a fucking carcinogen that kills people. Like, I don't know. So I've thought, like, what if I had this traumatic answer? I should just start telling them, like, you know, fucking car accident and I killed a family. Like, why are you asking that? But no one seems to care. I don't even think I noticed when we were at Genre Blast that neither of us were drinking. It was just
I actually didn't know that till you just mentioned it. So
I've always got like a drink around me. I'm like one of those autistic beverage gremlins. I literally have 2 with us right now. I found out that I didn't even want to drink as much as yes.
I got a tea and a coffee here. Yeah.
There you go. I just needed an activity for my mouth. Like, it didn't need to be alcohol. I used to smoke. I quit 4 months before I quit drinking. And then I discovered soda water. A friend of mine bought me a soda stream. And that
very
was it.
similar, yeah.
Yeah. So I have a diet Coke here and a soda water. And I'm happy as can be.
Yeah, once I got used to the seltzer, I love it. You can get all the different flavors. And that's another thing, too. When I was in LA, one of the first times, it was cool. There's so many, like the mocktails. And I noticed that starting to spread places because it is fun. Because, you know, that is one thing sometimes when you're out, you want to have like a fun drink instead of just water.
Absolutely.
And cool.
And you know what's great about LA? So my managers, I live in LA now, and my managers are all here. And I used to fly out prior to moving here, then they would set up meetings like, we've got rooftop drinks at 7 with this person. And I'd be like, "Mom, but I don't drink." And I'd go, they don't drink either. Like, so many people in Los Angeles don't drink and don't eat meat. I feel like they are ahead of a lot of places by like 10 years as far as
Yeah,
health.
yeah. Well,
They're
that's
starting to drinking here with smoking.
yeah, yeah. Those really people, yeah. So the meat when I would travel with Michael and Sophia, especially in LA, the food was so good, like I didn't even care. Like
I know. It's
I was
so
like,
good.
"Oh, I could be vegan out here, no problem at all." Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Sorry, where do you live?
I'm in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Where I am specifically, like you'd probably just get like a salad, and even
Yeah.
that probably isn't vegan
Yeah.
most places.
Yeah,
So.
no, it's hard. Like, I haven't eaten meat for 35 years, so it was rough at the beginning. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. Oh my God, the food there is stunning. Great vegan food here, great vegan food. Like, you're not missing anything. When I travel to certain places, especially in the South, like I do struggle a little bit more. You can always find something.
Yeah.
But maybe the variety. Like, I'm Mexican too, so like I don't drink and I don't eat meat. My Mexican family doesn't know what to do with me. Okay, how much fun is that? But yeah, no, it's so much easier now, and I do love that, especially here. Like, other people they don't bat an eye when you don't drink. They're just like, yeah, have a fucking mocktail. Let's talk business. And I'm like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah, I remember. I won't say where because I do like the festival, but the location. I just remember we ate at Taco Bell every night because it was like the only place that Michael Sophia could get. It was like the burrito with potatoes. It was like the only thing.
Yeah,
And I was
and
like, I don't need to eat here every night, but
yeah, there that I've definitely experienced. Where I'm like going in a circle in a vicinity, being like, I would just really like something else, but we make it. I've learned as an autistic person who struggles with, I don't know what part of me is autistic and what part of me is ADHD because it's just my brain, but I've also learned that I just travel with like granola bars and shit now. Because I'm like, I get cranky and I don't notice I'm hungry until after the point sometimes. So I just treat myself like a little child, pack a little lunch. I always have surprise cheese or travel cheese. I have like little like a baby bell because I still do eat cheese sometimes. So I'll just have like a little protein or a bar, and I'm like, things get rough. I'll just pull that out and eat it.
that I actually in my backpack I always have like a Kind bar and
Yep.
tuna, which I know you wouldn't eat, but the protein from the tuna is good. So very similar.
So smart. Because otherwise, yeah.
Blood Pack Films, making film is not easy. Kudos to everyone who makes films.
You are not wrong. And I always say this to my film students, like, just go make a shitty film. Because then you're a filmmaker and no one can take it away from you. I think so many people worry about making a great film that they stop and they hold themselves back. Like, we have the ability to make a film with our phones. Go make a film. And then you'll make a better one the next time. Like, making a film is hard, but you also can just get too in your head and not try at all. And anyone who's made a film in any capacity, I have so much respect for.
Yeah, it's definitely changed. Not that I was ever really a negative person, but I really don't like to even if I don't like the movie, I don't like to say anything bad about like a independent film on the show because I know how much effort, how much work it was put in to make, even if it didn't work for me.
Well, you know what? Art is subjective too, right?
Right.
I just saw a film that I usually do 60-second reviews on my Instagram. I had to film probably 9 for Wolfman. Wolfman, was that what it was?
Wolfman, yeah. I've not seen it, I have to say. I've not heard very good things.
I struggle. And normally I'm a person who's like, there's always something. And that one I was just like,
I will say a bigger budget film I don't mind so much if I say something bad about. And I know that's probably that's not a great thing to say either, but it is different than something that's an independent film.
I would never want to shit on an independent film unless maybe the person was a piece of shit or whatever, or the message was horrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I even try with bigger ones because other people might love them. I did not enjoy Nosferatu. I thought the camera work was comical.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Comical. Like, it felt like a kid out of film school that just figured out you could do a whip pan or like a 1/8, like the thing's up for an Academy Award for cinematography. Yeah. Clearly that's subjective. Like, I'm clearly not right to a lot of people. So I really do try and go, regardless of budget, there's always something. But yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan either. I thought I was like it was blasphemy that I was the horror guy that didn't like the movie. But
I bought T-shirts for it ahead of time. I'm such a Universal Monster fan.
yeah, me too.
And you know what? I will say Skarsgård was unbelievable. I could not see him on screen. I thought he disappeared into the character. Again, such great elements in that film. But I thought the cinematography was confusing.
Yeah, there's a lot I wasn't a big fan, but it does. There are parts of that do look
Yeah.
amazing. I'll say that.
Whereas Wolfman, look at you making a movie. Good for you.
So I do want to mention back to a puppet killer is that it made me very happy that there's a lot of references, but there's a reference to Treevenge, which is a personal favorite Christmas horror of mine. So.
Yes, we wanted to do that because we were talking about the best Christmas horror films in a Christmas horror film. So I was pretty proud of that one. Yeah. I don't think Alex knew it was a real movie when we had him do it, but yeah. I love Christmas horror. I'm not a big chipper person. I'm not a negative person, but I don't want you singing Christmas music around me, and I don't necessarily, want to go into stores a lot during Christmas. I don't like commercialism, and I'm not great with crowds. I get overstimulated. I don't necessarily want to watch a bunch of rom-com-y horror, or pardon me, Christmas movies. I love, fuck me, Santa Jaws. I can watch that shit all the time. I love it. I dork out over horror or Christmas horror. And so when they put out a book about Christmas horror and our film was in it, that was a moment of just absolute, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah. Even what I would say crappy Christmas horror. I don't know. I love all of them.
I don't think Santa Jaws
is.
Yeah, I don't think Santa Jaws is good.
Right.
I love it. I love it. I mean, I think it's good, but it's good in that way, that cheesy. It's Santa Jaws. But I love it.
Yes, it was a couple weeks ago. It didn't work out just time wise, but we were going to have the director of Treevenge on because they were playing Hobo with a Shotgun at an event, and I was more excited to talk about Treevenge.
Totally,
it's not that I don't like Hobo with a Shotgun, but I was like, oh, he made Treevenge.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know that's a real movie. I think you might be the first person in all the interviews I've ever done that actually brought up Treevenge. So, respect.
Well, it made me very happy. So, yeah. And go find. I think it's on YouTube for people who have not seen Treevenge.
Yeah, go see Treevenge. Let's go boost its numbers right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, a Puppet Killer is also a Christmas horror movie.
Yes, I know. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy.
And will we ever see a sequel to Puppet Killer?
I mean, this film has been through multiple lawsuits, which people just say, welcome to Hollywood. Isn't it fun when people try and steal your art? And I'm like, so my relationship with the film is interesting. I have recently fallen in love with it again, like we talked about. I've definitely been asked that a lot. Me and Kevin have talked about it. I think if we did, it would be institutionalized. So we would start doing more of an homage to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and stuff like that. But right now, my amazing team that I've been making film with for 10 years, we have another feature that we're going to picture for this summer. And I'm really excited about that. So I don't know. It's a hard one. I've rarely seen a sequel that was as good as the first. And I think one of the reasons Puppet Killer has landed with audiences is because it was so authentic. We really do love horror. We really made it for ourselves. We didn't make it for anyone else. And I would worry about making a second and just swinging and missing, because we really didn't make this for an audience. And I feel like if we made a second, we would, whether we meant to or not, we would be making it for other people. And credit to Parker for Smile 2. I think it is one of the only sequels I have heard everyone unanimously say they like better than the first.
Yeah, because I did notice a lot of people didn't like the first one, which I actually liked the first one, but the second one was great, and they really advanced the mythology, and it was a really well done movie.
Well, and I know Parker, and I know how much more freedom he got on the second one too. So to see him stand alone and do it so well is so fucking great. I love it.
Yeah,
And
it's
Alec Gillis made the practical effects for that because he's God, and he will be making the practical effects for the movie I'm making with Michael and Sophia.
Oh, really? Oh, well, congratulations. That's really exciting.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. And it's wild that there's so much more graphic movies that come out theatrically now. Like Smile 2 is like years ago. I don't know if like such a graphic movie would come out, and then Substance obviously and Terrifier movies. And
Substance. I'm just such a fan.
I am too.
I would be a fan even if we didn't have that last 10. Like, I just loved the film. I loved the message. I thought it was brave. It was amazing. The acting was phenomenal. But that last 10 just made me so...
I agree, because I have a lot of people come on the show where they're like, oh, well, the last part like kind of ruined the movie. I'm like, that's kind of my favorite part. Like, I love the whole movie, but I'm like, I think the end like is that really speaks to the crazy horror fan and in me. But I was like, that was really ballsy to have that ending in the movie.
It was, and even just the visceral way that she shot men. Like, people always say, like,
especially when he's eating and
the like male lens, female lens. Like, you want an example of the difference? Phenomenal, unbelievable. She made, I'm such a fan. So I was fucking, and the behind the scenes of I think it's her, but I can't quite tell in the video, where there's like fully covered in plastic and they basically just put a camera helmet on her with a gun of blood and she's just there. Oh, fucking amazing.
Yeah, and it's also amazing that it's the actress in the costume. It wasn't like a double. She really sat there and had all the stuff put on her.
I can't imagine what those prosthetic and practical builds were too, as far as time wise, like how long they were in the chair. But yeah, just a great all around movie. My God. Oh
yeah, and as a horror fan,
amount of blood.
Yeah, and to see it up for like maybe people don't care about the Academy Awards, but I grew up watching them and I still like to watch them. And to see it get accolade or at least recognition, maybe it'll win. But that's great as a horror fan to see.
I cried when Jordan Peele won. I do care because I care about representation too, right? Like the year that Jordan Peele won, I remember that Coco was up, so I saw like folklorico dancing on stage, plus Guillermo won for Shape of Water, and so I saw this like Mexican representation and this horror representation, and I literally cried with my mom, and she was just like, "Oh, I didn't know if you cared about awards." I'm like, "I care that we're progressing." So I do care. I think it's really great that The Substance is up. And I mean, we have our first trans actress up for Best Actress. Like, are you kidding me? I'm fucking here for it. I will absolutely watch this year.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I really do watch every year anyway.
Yeah.
I see. Huh?
I don't have cable. Where the fuck do you watch it when you don't have cable?
I don't know. Maybe it's just on YouTube, or I'm not really sure. I'm sure there's some shady website you can watch it at, but I don't know. Maybe
go to the Gardena Cinema this year. There's this one. There's like an old art house theater in Gardena.
Yeah. I'm friends with Bill DeFrance, who runs it. That was who's going to set up the interview with the hobo with the shotgun.
No way! Oh, okay. What a small world. That's so great. Yeah, I saw that they're going to play the Academy Awards, so I thought I'm going to go to the Gardena.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be really fun. Yeah, watch it with other people, especially especially if Substance wins. That'll be a great experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've never watched something like that with a theater audience. I think that'd be fun.
Neither have I. I think what a great event. What a great idea.
Yeah. They play a lot of cool stuff. The Gardena Cinema.
Oh yeah, we went in, and I'm sorry I can't remember the name of the gentleman that did all of he worked with John Carpenter forever on a bunch of the original scores for like The Thing and
I know he means yeah.
Dead Alive, Evil Dead. It's not any of those, but the one with the glasses. What is that one? Why am I not? They live.
One of my favorites too. Roddy Piper. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh God, the fight scene is one of the greatest fight scenes in the entire world. But They did an event where he came and just like literally live scored Halloween 3, #1, and live scored a whole bunch of those like clips from these iconic movies. And it was just, yeah, they do the cool. I met Diablo Cody there once, like Gardena, yeah, like shout out to Gardena Cinema.
Yeah, and they're cool people, which makes it even better.
That's great to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I met him when I was out doing Psycho Ape 2. He was out in a scene for it. He's a cool guy. And I do want to mention Reanimator is also a big part of Renegade Film Festival, which has always been one of my favorite movies. And it's the 40th, I believe, the 40th anniversary.
40th anniversary. Yeah. I know, that's crazy. I love Reanimator. I'm just a fan of Barbara. So I'm excited about the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it in the theater in a very long time. So I'm excited for that screening too.
Yeah, and it's awesome that I've always been a huge Barbara Crampton fan, and to see her do so well, later in life.
She just presented at the Saturn Awards. Like, come on, Queen. I know. I love that. I thought that was really great. Yeah, she's doing awesome.
So Puppet Killer, I have all the links for everybody for Renegade Film Festival, February 21st and 22nd in Atlanta. It's really a great festival. We had a great time when we were there, when we were playing Smash and End Zone. And it's got a great lineup this year. 4 really cool feature films, ton of awesome shorts. People should go check it out. And where can people follow you to see what you're up to?
I'm not amazing at social media, but I'm trying to get better. My Instagram handle, I think, is just my name, Lisa Ovies. I do own a studio.
Did I mispronounce your name at the beginning?
Everybody does. Don't you worry about it.
I will remember that for next time.
Oh, thank you. No worries. I own a studio called Rogue Studios, which is where I have my Empower the Female filmmaking program, if anyone wants to follow that. And that's it, I think. I mean, everything's under my name or Rogue Studios. And we do have an Instagram for Puppet Killer. I suck at it. Like, I'm just not that good at it. But I am trying. And I will be at Renegade. So if anyone's there, come say hi. Sweet. I've got Sleep Tight that's playing, which is made by the same team that did Puppet Killer, as well as Kevin Mosley will be there, who's our writer. And one of our executive producers is from Atlanta. So she's going to be there, too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Atlanta's a hotbed for cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited to go.
Yeah. And OVS sounds a lot cooler than Ovies anyway. So
Ovies is like the white way that people say it. It is a Mexican.
I don't know if you noticed, I am a very white man, but yeah.
Which is why I wasn't offended at all.
All right, fair enough. All right. So and by the way, what would be a good vegan Mexican dish for me to order? Howard. Oh, sorry, it's a Howard. Yeah. That was the who you're trying to think of earlier.
Great. Thank you so much.
I should have known that he's been on the show too. But
I know, but I should have known that too. And I was like, you know what? Sophia and Michael took me to a vegan Mexican restaurant, I think in West Hollywood. And I had vegan, I think it was like literally like a cashew cheese quesadilla with like guacamole and everything, and it was amazing. Like, I think but the mushrooms has a really good texture too, and depends on if you like jackfruit. But tacos.
I had jackfruit for the first time with Michael and Sophia when I was staying with them, and if I didn't know, I would have just thought it was pulled pork. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and I don't love it because I just have particular flavor issues with the way I am, but on it, you take a corn tortilla, you throw anything in it with some guacamole and some salsa.
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah. Really, all the other stuff is just kind of making the meat taste good. So you just take the meat out and you get all the other stuff that tastes good, and you're good.
Enchilada sauce, throw that shit on anything.
Well, there you go. Well, this has been very fun. I always like talking with you.
You too. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you letting me come back on. I am so excited to go to Renegade. I can't wait.
Yeah, I wish I was there, but I will run into you down the road. But people go to Renegade. It's really a great festival.
Yes, please do come and say hi. I will have a couple Puppet Killer pins left. I believe this will be our very last screening at the film festivals. So that was one of the reasons that I'm just like so excited that I'll be there. So it'll be a special one for us.
The last question then, do you know where what will go on with Puppet Killer after the festivals?
I don't know. We got our lawsuits plural, which is great. We got the rights of it back. And now it's just, the film's old, and yet a lot of people want it. So, I mean, in a perfect world, I'd love it to land on Shudder or something like that. And that is something that we're looking into. And we've had some good conversations with people, but it's a little bit of a weird one because it's a bit of a dated title now, even though we haven't been able to release it. So.
Yeah, but as the old saying goes, it would be new to me if I've not seen it before.
That's what I say. Plus, we've got so many amazing fans that keep asking where they can see it. So I know there's an audience out there for it. It'll absolutely get out somewhere. It's just a matter of me trying to do service to my beautiful investors and everyone who made the film. But we'll probably get it out within the year. This year would be great.
All right, sounds good. Well, I will talk to you soon, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're welcome on anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Bye. I'll stick her out there. I'm going to go to break real quick, and then I'll come back, and I'll probably just talk about some nonsense. So we're going to play the trailer here for Renegade Film Festival, and then I think I'm also going to play a trailer for Our Man Funk, which I will be in. This is not playing.
Brain death brings about an irreversible.
Hi there, folks. I'm Bill Wheaton. Not at all. Please just come in. I hope you won't mind if I don't get up.
The time has come.
I'm Lisa Gay, and most of you know me through trauma.
That's right, Dean.
However, we do have a plan to get the Toxic Avenger to Japan.
Mark Torgel here, Melvin the Mop Boy from the original Toxic Avenger.
I'm international superstar Zach Amico, star of many trauma films.
You guys wanted to see me naked, right?
Pro wrestling personality,
Total utter annihilation.
comedian, podcaster, and overall handsome boy.
I'm AJ Cutler, and once in future Smash.
And we're here to make Our Man Funk, an unapologetic, gore-soaked family revenge comedy with guts and laughs and a whole lot of heart. But to make this movie as wild and outrageous as it deserves to be, we need your help. Indie filmmaking is about passion and blood and explosive fun.
I can't tell you what that means, but it's disgusting.
Coca-Cola gave me $50,000 as long as I promised not to show Bill Wheaton naked. Fuck you! We're showing Bill Wheaton naked.
But only you have the power to make it all happen.
And let's be real here. Where else can you see an 80-year-old man shove a bar of soap down some punk's throat?
You got it. Nowhere. Nowhere but here. Here is where that shit can happen.
Who is Funk?
Funk isn't just an old man.
Well, Funk just isn't a vigilante.
Funk's an old man vigilante.
So listen up, folks. We're gonna make the most outrageous,
The bloodiest, funniest,
most unforgettable
Family revenge comedy of the year.
open up your pocketbooks and pledge now. Let's clean up these filthy fucking streets with Our Man Funk.
Boom! And we are back here live. I'm still Nasty Neil.
This is Annabelle Lecter.
And this is still Without
Your Head.
Exactly.
My big apologies to our guest because I've been a little about the world, and I was just not in a position to give a good interview. But I can sit here and screw around with foolishness of what the fuck is this hat, by the way? I was in the living room for a moment. I'm like, what is he even? Why?
For two reasons. First of all, it's February, where it's Valentine's Day month, and I wore it specifically for Puppet Killer because it's a big pink puppet. And
it did look super cool.
This is what I did. So I started out before we went live with Lisa, and I'm wearing this. And then when I played the trailer, I'm like, I took this off, put this on, and then when we came live, she was very surprised.
I bet she was. I'm surprised. Like, what the fuck is he doing?
Susie out there liked it a lot. Susie's watching. That one looks a little like it's a little messed up.
The lines in the front. No, gotta get. Yeah, that's better. Don't have a line in the front. It's like putting a pin on your boob. Like you gotta, you gotta keep it up.
The only thing is, like, I almost had to move the camera because my head, like, the hat's so high, it's almost out of the camera range. But whatever.
Whatever.
We also have Simon up there in the corner.
Yeah. I don't have the comments happening. Hey, look at y'all. Nice to see you.
Well, we got some folks.
Lexi.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Hello, Lexi.
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Without your head regular, Lexi joins us. How's it going out there? I don't know how you feel about announcing your land that you're from. Maybe
I am from the land of the York of News.
Okay.
Yes.
The what?
The York of News.
Oh, I thought you said the York of Nudes. I'm like, what are you?
No. New York.
You got Neil's romantic hat and the.
It's pretty sweet. Now you should remember this. I wore this to the Slut Cracker.
I remember it.
It's a great hat. I approve of the hat.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oof. We had a guest recently that was actually I didn't bring it up on the show because I wasn't sure she would want me to, but she was actually a performer in the Slut Cracker, and I think it was the year we went, actually.
Why would she not want to bring it up?
Because she doesn't. I don't know. I didn't know. She was the main star of Round the Decay.
Oh.
Now, what is the Slut Cracker? It sounds fascinating.
Oh my God, it is. Every year in Somerville, Massachusetts, which is like right Boston adjacent, there is this absolutely nothing to do with the Nutcracker production called Slut Cracker. It's a great name. And when it changes yearly, I guess, they like mix it up. The year we went, it was about a party. Like, there's like the party and it's like holidays and you greet people at the door and they come with their gifts. Mm-hmm. And I think, from what I recall, this is a long time ago, that one of the gifts was a vibrator. Is that what it happened to? I think.
I don't remember that.
Like musical numbers involving like people dressed like dildos, and there's like a giant one. People are riding it.
Oh, this sounds glorious.
So
well, the end is like a giant candy cane dildo that ejaculates snow over the audience.
I forgot that. I don't know how.
It's very festive.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
crazy. So if anybody out there, I don't know if they do it other places, if that's like something that people do internationally.
No, I don't think so. I do think it's just at the Somerville Theater.
So come on out to the big city of Boston. And
I do love Boston. I should very fun.
We weren't there for that then. No, that was a different event. Yeah, my hair wasn't like that then. It was long and normal.
Oh, I guess it's just. Oh yeah, that's the second time we were there for the Cannibal. Last time, Cannibal the Musical.
Yes.
Oh, this sounds like a fun venue.
It is. It's freaking great over there. They've got all kinds of good stuff. We've got 3 stellar theaters within like maybe a 5-mile radius, maybe in small. Ooh. Seriously, Jonathan Jackson. It's a good time. You put a little syrup in it in a cup and you're golden.
So, real quick, I want to address this. How's Arbor Day coming? So, this weekend, I'm going to finish up stuff I want to do for the script, put stuff together. And then we are going to actually start breaking down the script. The producers, me, Annabelle Troy, and Michael J. Epstein. And then that from there, we'll start doing table reads and whatnot. But yeah, that is the next step in Arbor Day. And on the 17th, we will be filming Steve and the Other Guys in Search of the Yeti, which is a prelude to Arbor Day.
Nice to see you, Christian. What's up?
What's going on? I saw the link in the comments, and I was like, I have no excuse to not jump in.
Yeah, do it up.
Nice.
It's good to see you.
Excited to see you. How's everything? How's your projects?
Everything is good. We officially we release next week. Next Saturday it comes out. I'm so excited.
Oh. Todd is. So Christian, tell people about this. This is the ice cream truck, right?
Yeah. So I'm a big. It's a very specific subgenre of horror, but my dog is literally like trying to. Penny, say hi to the horror people. I'm a big fan of killer car movies. I love those ridiculous premises. I love them so much. Christine is literally one of my favorite movies.
That's a legit great movie.
It is a legit great movie, and I would also argue that The Car is also a legit great movie from 1977.
All right.
James Bro. Yes, it's old as base.
I have a T-shirt of The Car.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Dude, Christian.
Yeah, I bought it ages ago. They didn't have the size I wanted, so I don't know if it fits me now, but I will never part with it.
It's so good.
I have the soundtrack too, and I want to recommend to folks that if you buy The Car on Blu-ray, get the Region B Arrow Video import because it has a shit ton of extras that the domestic does not.
Proceeds to go to Amazon and
it would be the Region B from Arrow Video. Yeah, their release is better than the whatever is available. And of course, please do not bother with the so-called sequel. That was
I remember when that came out. I made the mistake of thinking that they were going to try.
Cars is the sequel to The Car.
No, it's just called. No, it's called the. I think it's still called The Car, isn't it?
It's called The Car, Road to Revenge, and they made it seem like it was this dope legacy sequel, and then they had Ronnie Cox in it for like 2 seconds, and I was like, "What the fuck is this bullshit?"
And they do have the original car in it, but in a storage facility. And it's loosely connected, and it's full of breast implants in the movie, and not The Car, but
it's so terrible. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm like, I can't say shit because they got it off the ground. They made it. They got their movie made, and I'm still sitting here trying to. Yeah,
Christian, I'm blanking on the name, but are you a fan of that movie about the killer tire?
Yes, Rubber. I love it. Yes. So I love the killer vehicle subgenre. I've always thought that was something that just
The Wraith with
yeah, it tickled my brain in all the right ways. All those movies. I think I know most, if not all of them. So I was stumbling through YouTube and I found this gameplay footage of somebody playing a video game called Waffle Cone Willie. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And somebody made a video game, an indie horror game, where you are being chased around by this villainous ice cream truck. And I was like, that's fucking sick. Where's the movie? And it's not popular enough to have a movie. And dope, I'll make it. And then I realized I don't have any money. But I do have Grand Theft. But then I was like, I do have Grand Theft Auto 5. So I made the entire movie using GTA's filmmaking tools.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of my favorite things I've ever made. It's so fun. And it's also the first time I've ever scored anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The soundtrack comes out the same day.
I want to clarify. Is it a sentient evil ice cream truck, or is there
It is a sentient...
Okay, the
it
truck
is a
itself
sentient...
is evil.
Yep, it's sentient evil
fantastic.
ice cream truck. It is... I'm already, like... I'm so geeked because I know where I'm going to take it, because I know that I'm probably going to do a follow-up. I'm so excited to share it. Literally, the next trailer drops this Saturday, and then we drop the film a week from Saturday. So yeah, Waffle Cone Willie, Arcade Productions, and we got distribution. We're on a platform called Baker Plus, which is home to what is called machinima content, which is movies that are made using video games. And you can find it there and on YouTube. So I'm kind of proud.
Wow.
What's up?
I remember mentioning to you off to the side that I know someone who's like talking about this as being a possibility, specifically with Grand Theft Auto, that people are able to generate these amazing worlds and events pretty much just
it's, you know what?
Like you just
the
make
way, it is really interesting because, I mean, the way that I've always seen it is that it's kind of like a middle ground between like previs and animation, because you're still working with like pre-made assets that you have to like break your game essentially to get to. Mm-hmm. But what makes it so fascinating is that I also love the limitation, because it makes you have to figure out how to be creative of how to do certain things. Like there was a scene that you'll see in the movie that plays off so simply, but it literally took me, I think, 2 days to do. And it was literally just a shot of the truck charging at our main character. But then you have to realize, wait, who's driving the truck? Who's controlling the one character? Who's doing this and that? And then who's also cueing the truck? So it's all this weird rigmarole that I had to figure out. But that was the fun challenge of it all. So I think that it all came together really, really cool. And I'm so excited to show it to people.
So this is a team of people that are also...
Just me. It's all me. It's all me. And then, my incredible voice cast. And then I had some buddies make some 3D models for me. But really, it's just me sitting at a computer like this for 3 months, just making this thing happen scene by scene.
It's amazing.
And then thinking I made almost a 45-minute thing. Oh, it's 25 minutes. Okay, that's fine. That works.
Quality 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a quality 25.
More important than just a random 45.
Yeah. Sorry, my
what
dog
are your plans to do with it?
Right now, it's just going to be on YouTube for everybody to see. YouTube and Baker Plus. But to be quite honest with you, I think I'm going to try and like actively be like, hey, if this is what you think that this will look like in GTA, now imagine
With
money.
Yeah.
Because I love the premise of the video game so much. Like I love the lore that they kind of hint at in it, and I definitely take my own spin onto it for sure. But I thought it was so cool to be able to do it. But it's just so funny because the creator also seems to have like fallen off the face of the planet. So if you're out there, Coors Games, I love your game so much. I made it into a little short film.
World. Some people don't even know what this is.
No, it's a very
similar time. So,
it's a very obscure game. Like people have just started.
Really?
Not Grand Theft Auto, Waffle Cone Willie. But Grand Theft Auto, people have been making movies with the GTA since Rockstar gave us the tools, which is my thing too. I'm like, if they gave us the tools to do these things, that sounds like an okay to do it to me, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's why I made my silly little ice cream truck killer movie. It's fucking, I'm so excited
to see it.
Thank you. I'm excited for y'all to see it. It's going to be fun.
There was a movie, I don't know, God, time is flying so fast, but less than 10 years ago, there was a movie called Ice Cream Truck. I know I have it on DVD.
There was that one, though. It wasn't as much a sentient vehicle as it was a killer driving.
Yeah.
The van is a killer.
The van is a killer of mine. It's very much Christine. It stalks you, the car, and there's references and Easter eggs galore to those fucking movies. Funny enough, there's actually one in the trailer that's coming out on Saturday, and I'm wondering if it's only audio. So if you're a Stephen King fan, tell me if you pick up on the sound.
Interesting.
All right. This
So-
is very cool.
Thank you.
And I apologize, guys. Earlier when I was moving around, my the pin for the cord going into my microphone came out, and I didn't know it. And
Oh, that's all right. No worries.
As it
That's all
turns
good.
out,
I could hear you guys, and I looked like I was freaking out. So I'm sorry.
Christian did have much to share about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Don't worry about it. I got you covered, man. He's over here playing
We
with
were
spaghetti.
talking about the car, and suddenly everything dropped out, and I'm like,
oh
well.
Don't worry, I had thoughts. The minute you said it, I was like, nobody ever talks about that movie, but it's one of the.
I saw it when it first came out because, as I remind people, I'm old. And
Really?
Yeah, quite. I saw it in the theater when it first came out, and even as a teenager, I thought this movie is a little bit more existential than people realize because of the moodiness of it. Like the one character who would always stand around like he was in thought, and I just thought this such a weird movie, but that's why I loved it.
I loved the weird studio mandate movies of the late 70s and early 80s where they were just like, we want to do Jaws again, but don't do Jaws, make it on land and make it about a car. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody was just like, let's go figure it out.
Well, you always have to have the person, like you have the mayor or whatever, and he's like, we can't shut down the big fair just because there's a killer car in town.
Although I will
have
say
to go
without
through with the 4th
spoilers,
of July fair here.
when the one character, a woman, gets killed in it, and you weren't expecting that, I was just in shock the rest of the film. But I think that's why they did it, just to kind of mess you up.
So I
think
wonder.
what you're saying- I was just going to say, Christian, what you were saying about the limitations, it is kind of funny to think about that idea of someone's just going to throw this idea at you that makes no sense, and then what do you do with it to make it actually entertaining?
Yeah. I would love that to be something that happens a little bit more now, where, I mean, I think it's happening definitely in like indie cinema where people are coming up with these awesome, like ridiculous ideas that they're just like, let's figure out how to make it fun, i.e. Puppet Killer, Arbor Day. Like, I love that stuff. Like, yeah, let's make the ridiculous thing and make it entertaining.
Yeah,
like,
well, recently we had the guys on who did the Invisible Raptor, and it's like, so they like they don't have the money to make the Raptor, so it's like, let's make and it's awesome. It's really entertaining movie. It's very funny. It's not just the idea itself is funny, but they also made a funny movie. So, you know. Rubber's the same way. We brought up Rubber a couple times. Like, you know, it's really just a tire in the movie. But
Jonathan Jackson, I can't wait until the car Bloodlines comes out.
Yeah,
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
no!
this is something I bring up a lot. I think every franchise eventually has a sequel called Bloodlines, and then here the new what's the Final Destination is called Bloodlines. So I was like, oh.
Well, I'm waiting.
Did someone do like what is like a name that the kids just love? Like they all flock if they see Bloodlines. Like, why is there so many movies called Bloodline? Like, I don't understand.
Something the kids love?
Electric Boogaloo as the.
I would rather Electric Boogaloo.
For like the first sequel, call it to Electric Boogaloo. I think that should be a thing.
I always liked The Reckoning for a sequel.
See, this is the closest to the kids I think we've got over here is Lexi. On the ground.
Oh shit!
Or in space.
I'm
really,
fucking 30 now, Annabelle. There's no going back.
What? Oh my lord, Lexi.
Yeah.
I don't want them to put franchises into space, though. I'm getting a little weird.
No.
That's jumping the shark.
Arbor Days.
Oh, that was our plan for Waffle Cone Willie 4.
Well, that would work.
Gotta be
that would work because
Yeah.
they made a joke that even for Toilet Zombie Baby Strikes Back, they would have Toilet Zombie Baby in space.
Psycho has to go to space at some point.
Yes.
I hate to admit, though, Waffle Cone Willie Bloodlines does kind of have a really fucking awesome ring to it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Maybe
Well,
that's what I'm calling the sequel.
Look, everything is Amityville this and Shark that. We should do
If it's
Bloodlines.
if it's bloodlines, like the ice cream truck has to have like a baby.
Oh God! Oh God! Oh shit!
Wow,
that's how the bloodlines would.
That is a whole new angle. Christian,
oh, that's just.
Or maybe it's like a prequel, and we look at the ice cream truck's ancestor, and it's like one of those ice chests that you had to fill with like frozen ice from the lake.
What's really funny is that it is a generational kind of story where it's like something happened to the mom, then something happened to the brother, and now the last remaining family members trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. They know that they're associated with the legend of Waffle Cone Willie. Why the fuck this thing is like traveling around killing family members? So what's hilarious is that Bloodlines actually fits into the plot of what I'm trying to do. So now I'm like, well, maybe I am calling the sequel Bloodlines. Holy shit. But that horrible, disgusting idea of the ice cream truck having a child, I hate that I have ideas. I'm gonna just go to bed.
Son of ice cream truck.
Excited for this to come to fruition. Hey, Craig!
Hey, Creepy Craig is here. One of our favorites.
Hey.
We got all our favorites here.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh. How's it going?
And still I'm here.
All our favorites and Craig.
Craig, you hearing anything about Waffle Cone Willie's over here?
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
There was a pause.
There was a significant pause with a look too. It was like,
I'm curious, as we're talking about this, I'm reflecting, and I'm thinking that a lot of like horror themed things harken back to things in childhood, especially sort of recently. There's almost been a little bit of a renaissance, like, children's toys and ice cream trucks. And like, what do people think that's about?
I think that it's literally just an excuse to go back, whether or not it's horror or because it's not just horror. It's also in regular movies. I mean, fucking Barbie was the biggest fucking grossing movie of last year.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just a general nostalgia to want to go back. Whether or not it becomes twisted is kind of dependent on who makes it.
Yeah.
But you're right. There has been more cutesy kind of horror. People thinking, oh, that's adorable, and then stabs you to death. And I think that I find that kind of hilarious.
I will say I was excited.
Well, I was going to say real quick, for horror specifically, I would say being afraid of something, I think, is more it was more prevalent when you were a kid because you're new in the world. So then you go back to what was new to you is all these toys and childlike things.
For me, it was the Banana Splits movie. I was just shocked that came out of nowhere, and I didn't know about it because I used to watch the Banana Splits when I was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And here it was, but we can't bring it back as a cute movie. It wouldn't fly, so we have to make it a horror movie, and I was just so thrilled by that.
I think it's also Christmas horror works though too, because you kind of twist something that is quaint or something that's always is very jovial and stuff. And let's twist that into a horror film.
Terrifier 3 made how much money?
Over 100 million. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Very little.
I think that it is always fun to see that stuff though, and it's also a testament because it's that's exactly why Five Nights at Freddy's works so well, because it's every child of the 80s and 90s who went to Chuck E. Cheese, realizing, because we all had the same thought, those robots are creepy as shit.
Yeah. It taps into a collective experience.
Literally.
I still had more fun with Willy's Wonderland than Five Nights.
Oh, Willy's Wonderland is the superior movie, but I love what Five Nights represents, because Five Nights is, again, it's an indie creator who got the best of the best situation possible and had a almost $300 million grossing movie. That's amazing.
What's funny that these movies do too is because I remember some younger kids talking about that song "Talking in Your Sleep" by the Romantics that they played in Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was like, no, that song is from the 80s, kids. It's just with the companion, they brought back Book of Love's Boy and then Samantha Sang's Emotion from 1978. All
Everyone's
these
telling
young
me to
people-
see Companion, but not to watch a trailer, to go in completely blind. I really
Yeah.
need to see
Oh,
it.
Companion. Yeah, I tell people, do not watch the trailer. Do not let anyone tell you about it. Do not read about it. It's the same like with movies like The Coffee Table. Just go in blind and let it happen, because most reviews do reveal the one main thing about Companion, and then you're just like not surprised.
I was on that path, and then I went to see Wolfman, and they were like, "Here's the trailer," and I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
And it was one of the it gave away the whole thing. I won't even say it, but like you're right. I think it takes the magic away from the surprise.
People tell me where I work at the theater, oh, I don't want to miss the trailers. And I'm like, when I go see a movie, I always wait until the 20-minute period is over with, right before the movie starts. Then I go in, because all the trailers now, I've seen so many trailers that like give away like the final shot of the film. It's like a Reader's Digest version of the movie, and they ruin everything. I mean, what was the one? Abigail. That trailer pissed me off, and I just refused to see the movie because the trailer gave everything away. No surprise to be had.
And at the same time, I think I think that was a hard sell on that movie if you didn't know a little bit about it.
Well, the poster with the girl being bloody was enough.
No, I think though that the problem was the movie. The first like half hour of the movie is set up that you don't know what she is.
Yeah, but you already do because of the
boring.
Yeah, they had to do one or two things though. They either had to not make that part of the movie, that it's a surprise that she's a vampire, because it really ruined the first half hour of the movie, or you had to have a different marketing scheme. So they had to get together on that and be like, well, we're gonna market this as a vampire movie, so it can't be a big part of the first half hour of the movie what she is, if the audience already knows before they can go see the movie. And you could have. I know people try to argue with me that the people in the movie don't know, but the audience does. But that's not how the movie's set up. The movie's set up that no one's supposed to know.
So, but what I think, oddly enough, plays in the favor of that. Like, I agree. I don't like it when the trailers give away most of it. I find that very annoying. However, it then creates a weird side effect that I love participating in, which is then showing somebody who didn't see anything about the movie, showing it to them completely and utterly blind. And that's fun, because I got a chance to do that with Abigail, with a friend, and that became one of her favorite movies. And I think that will then kind of add to the longevity of the movie eventually, because then it's people rediscovering it but not watching a trailer, because it's like, oh, don't watch the fucking trailer, just enjoy this version.
Or they just ruin everything by promising you blood and guts, which then for some people it's like, well, then I'll get that. I don't care that they ruin the surprise. And for me, my biggest beef is when they show trailers that are like Westerns, like taking place in the 1800s and stuff, but they're playing rap music. Throughout the trailer. I'm like, excuse me? Is this a rap Western? I don't get it. They're trying to pull in the young folks that are into that. Oh, I want to see this Western because of the rap.
And that's bring back Ennio Morricone.
Oh my God, the biggest offender that comes to mind of that is I'll never forget when they dropped the trailer for the last Rambo movie and it had fucking Old Town Road in it, and I was hollering, laughing in the movie theater. I was like, there ain't no fucking way. There ain't no way. Yep. Oh, there it is. It's just a straight up trailer remix of Old Town Road. I was like, no, that's not how you sell a thing. But why is this also working? I'm going to not go there any further.
I do want to mention next week we will have the original cast. We're going to have there's 4 people already who agreed to this, of the 40th anniversary of the Toxic Avenger will be on the show. That's going to be very fun. And they'll all be at Dead of Winter in Worcester coming up in a couple weeks.
Craig's full of judgment down. What was his head shake?
Well, no, I mean, that sounds really cool. I'm not judging. I'm enjoying it. I'm
And I'll
enjoying it.
admit, I'm not a fan. I'm not really a fan of the original Toxic Avenger.
I'm a big fan
especially
of it.
I love
because
it.
of the rapey scene in the restaurant. But I like the people in it. I love Mark, so I would enjoy watching something like that to see and hear everybody. I love the remake.
Yeah, and it's finally coming out. People were saying it was never going to come out. I argued that. I mean, I had no knowledge, but I was like, well, it doesn't make sense to.
I think it's funny that it's going
to
to
make
be
it for $50
unrated though,
million and not release
because
it. But.
to me, what I saw at Beyond Fest at the Aero Theater was the version, and yeah, it was gory, but it wasn't NC-17 gory. So I don't get. I guess the unrated now has a mystique to it. So get it out unrated, and now everybody will clamor to see it. But it's a good movie anyway. I do love the remake so much more.
King's Pearl said Gladiator 2 had weird music too.
Well, going down below that about Toxic Avenger, I was going to say the idea of even if you don't like it, almost everybody has heard that name and knows Toxic Avenger exists. You might not know shit about it, but you know it exists. You hear it.
Yeah.
So
and it's a really low budget movie for the time. And even Lloyd has always says, Lloyd Kaufman of, Trauma Films and the creator of the Toxic Avenger.
We used to watch it at least. Me and my friends, we used to watch it maybe 3 times a month to the point where we would quote the lines, and it was one of our favorites.
I love it too. And boy, when you watch it now, like it's a lot of it's ahead of its time, like the stuff about bullying and stuff. I think it's also a lot. It's a pretty, they're like running kids over and stuff, like stuff you don't really see too much. Well, I guess you do in Terrifier movies.
I remember I worked with one of the makeup artists on it years ago. He told the story about in the scene where the weight falls on the guy's face, and that little tongue is moving around. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, I was the puppeteer of that tongue." My hand was up moving it around.
That's got to be a. That's got to be an amazing IMDb credit, tongue puppeteer.
Annabelle and I went to see a midnight showing of it with Lloyd and his wife in attendance. It was really
wow, really?
Yeah, we got to chat with them in advance of the movie.
He came to Smodcastle, and he was one of the nicest people. He brought Shakespeare Shitstorm.
Oh, nice.
My God!
They did the premiere. They did the premiere there, and I got to talk with him for a couple of minutes. And funny enough, I found out that this kid that I went to film school with actually used to not only work for Troma, but he was the guy who on special feature DVDs was the one that they would dress up as Toxie.
Oh, nice!
So shout out to my old friend Jamie. I haven't seen him in years, but that's what he used to do. But yeah, no, Lloyd was incredibly kind. In fact, I know that he probably does this to everybody, but he gave me his business card and he was like, "If you ever make a movie, call me." And I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "This is cool."
Him and his wife, a total power couple. Him and Pat. She's like the commissioner of New York Film. She's like, smooth, smart.
They used to have their office used to be in Hell's Kitchen. I don't know if they're still there or not.
Yeah, they've invited us to the Troma, whatever it's called, Troma Studios. We should go someday. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Famous stories that he used to ask people to bring if they had ketchup at home, so they can bring it to the crafty table on the shoots because they were so low budget. There was a documentary. I think there was a documentary about Troma, and he joked about it that there's a car that flips over.
Yep, every movie.
And it's the same car.
Yeah, same scene. Yeah.
Yeah, he even joked about it. He goes, "Yeah, and then they put all the clips together in almost all the movies, and you kind of go, oh yeah, it's the same car, even though the car preceding it in another movie did not look like it." But
ensemble cast.
Talk about
another car.
Like that, yeah.
See, I'm on the right track here, guys. Like, there's a love here for these killer cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I think I know what doc you're talking about, unless it was the. There's two that come to mind. There's the one that Lloyd did with Trey Parker and Matt Stone. That was like make your own damn movie, which for me was like almost another film school. And then there was actually a dope Vice documentary, like a short form one. While I think they were oddly enough making Shakespeare Shitstorm, because I remember watching the clip and I think Lloyd was cross dressing or something, but that doesn't actually apparently narrow it down. It was just. I love their model of it. Like, that's the thing you were talking about, where it was like, you may not know what the movie necessarily Toxic Avenger is, but you know the brand, and you know what trauma means to independent film. It means you're going to get something. You're going to get something.
You're going to get guys farting and...
well,
but there's also always a social message underneath all that.
I think I have
lesbian makeup.
Hold on a second. Just keep talking amongst yourself.
Yeah, no worries.
No, the only time I heard an issue about Lloyd was I know that apparently Astron 6 had problems with him when they did Father's Day.
Oh, actually, I mean, there are a lot of people do. My personal opinion, my take on this is it depends what you think you're going to get out of working with Troma. If you go and working with Troma and Lloyd to think you're going to make a lot of money, you're most likely going to be really upset and disappointed. If you go in for the experience, or I've known people who actually have used working with Troma as their film school, like being on the set with them. So my take is it really depends what you think you're going to get out of it.
There's good ways and bad ways to look at how you approach working with them. Whoa!
That was my foray into doing Troma.
Oh, that's cool.
Bugged. I like it.
So cool.
That's super cool looking. Tell us more about Bugged.
Well, there was a guy named Ronald Armstrong. He had done this movie. It's called Bugged. And it wasn't officially made by Troma. It was acquired by Troma. That's what they kind of did for a little while. They were acquiring films from small filmmakers. So there was a buddy of mine who's not doing makeup anymore, Angel Acevedo, and we did this movie together called Bugged. And we were like, one day we were walking through one of those little conventions, horror convention. It might have been one of the few Fango conventions when they still used to have them. And, you know, Troma always had a table with all their movies. And we're like, we stop and we look, we're like, oh shit, is that? And because it was called something else, but we're like, and we looked at it, we said, oh shit, that's the movie we worked on. So it's there.
Wow.
So if you ever see it, there it is.
How do you feel about this being acquired?
Well, I'll be honest with you. If without them, it may never have been seen.
Yeah.
I think they gave a lot of opportunities. Like, I consider Lloyd to be sort of like the East Coast version of Roger Corman in a certain way.
Yeah.
Where he even though he did what he did, you know, sometimes you either loved Lloyd or you kind of hated the way he approached movies. But he did give people a chance, you know, and you know, and if you know, if he saw something, you know, he'd buy it for a song, and people were happy because Troma did release it on DVD. So,
like, even just looking it up now, it's on Tubi right now because of Troma. Like,
nice.
I can go watch this, and I can go watch this. Yeah, it's on Tubi right now.
Congratulations, Greg.
I made it, Mom. I made it.
One that I would recommend, because you know Lloyd loves doing little cameos, and the one that I would recommend from Britain that my friend Martin Payne is in is called "I Scream on the Beach," and Lloyd appears in there just briefly, but I just think it's so cool when he sort of lends himself out to little movies.
Yeah, he's in the one
for him though, right? Self-promotion. It's just smart to show up in these little things and keep in the minds of indie people.
And it wasn't just because, well, it's Lloyd. He did have something to contribute. It just wasn't, oh, there's Lloyd, and then you forget you're watching the movie because it's him.
He'll just show up.
Yeah.
He'll do like something out of his home in the front of a camera and
so my experience
throughout the day.
My experience with getting Lloyd in the Once and Future Smash, we wanted someone because people don't know, Once a Future Smash, a mockumentary about this old movie where
Okay.
both the actors take credit
There's
for
the other.
playing the.
Oh, I've
the
got
film.
that.
You have this?
Yeah.
Beware
I'm
Children at
sorry.
Play. Nice. Yeah, I'll just give him real quick how I got Lloyd in the movie. So we want him to play a character, play himself. He plays himself in the movie, talking about how he tried to get the rights to distribute this old movie, End Zone 2. And so I pitched him the idea. He didn't reply yes or no. He just sent back the video. I asked him. He actually recorded the whole thing that I asked him if he would want to do and just sent it to me. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
Did it make sense? I'm trying to remember if it actually connected to the film or not.
It was heavily edited for the movie, but it still worked.
I don't know if I think I love that more. It was like, here's what I think I needed to be. And he's just like, nope. Here's what you get. Make it work.
He had the idea then. It was a lot of stuff that we didn't necessarily need, but it was very cool of him to do it. And he did it for no money or anything, so it was very nice of him.
Stuff you didn't need, but anything you could possibly use.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that must be something for him to edit something out.
We edited it out. Yeah,
Oh, you edited it. Oh, okay.
It's a lot for Neil to edit something out too.
Oh, okay. That must have been
I was going
something.
to point out about that Beware Children at Play. If I'm not wrong, didn't Vinegar Syndrome put that one out as well?
I couldn't. Your audio's a little strange.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did it get put out by Vinegar Syndrome, a distributor?
Yeah, I think I have the I think they, because they acquire a lot of trauma stuff, and I think Vinegar Syndrome put it out as well.
Really?
Yeah, I think because I used to keep track of every BS title I have, and I would know if I had it or not. And I have way too many movies I can't remember now, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Wow.
Todd, you're so tall. You need like a.
Yeah, this microphone was expensive, so I can't believe that if I just put it down here, you guys
We have
can't
a
hear me as
similar
well.
new Yeti. Is that what that is?
Yeah, it is.
I don't want to hold it like this for the whole.
That's why you need a little table.
Be like if you get lonely.
Mic stand.
I do need a little something that I could just set it on right here.
Yes.
I might kind of out of camera. You can see the tip of it.
Yeah, but see, if I do that, I have to sit like real close, and I can't.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah, just get shorter, Todd. Is what she said.
You're too tall. You're perfectly tall, and the mic needs a stand that.
I do. Next time I'll remember to put something here so I can just set it down. Because I forget that when I lean back, you guys can't hear a thing I'm saying. So
we'll get there.
Everyone knows about Screamboat Willie's coming out. That's the Mickey Mouse horror film with David Howard Thornton. There's another one I was emailed about today. They sent us the trailer to play, and this is I Heart Willie.
Oh, yes, yes.
Also, you guys want to watch a trailer? It's not very long here. Let's play it.
I'm reading the back of this, and I haven't probably read this in years, but it's very interesting because you're talking, Neil, about how Kaufman always talks about that he's a Toxic Avenger. So go, ghastly introduction by Lloyd Kaufman, president of Trauma and creator of the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, that's how he always introduces himself and everything.
And then there's something else.
He even says
Ron Jeremy at play, and I'm like, well, I don't remember Ron Jeremy being in this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite the claim.
I'm gonna get some.
I don't know what it means. I feel like I want to watch. I'm like, what did he do in the movie?
Maybe it's better not.
Yeah, instantly changes my ideas of what that film could possibly be.
Yeah. The only thing I remember about this movie was, well, it was very cheap, but it's kind of like Children of the Corn, if you're not. But I made the joke that I think the fiance of the director, she did all the costumes, but all the kids were color coordinated. So I made the joke where they're wild, they're feral, but they're all color coordinated. They're all browns and blues. Wow.
Here we go. I Heart Willie. We'll keep us on here so we can talk about it if you want.
Rule number 1, always follow the best story. And the haunting of Steamboat Willie is by far the best story. Yeah.
I mean, if something really evil is actually there, then I don't know, maybe we
Wow.
should disturb it.
Riot.
A lot more serious than I expected.
Can you boost that volume at all?
What's that?
Can you boost that volume at all? It's very quiet.
If it really is Willie, or the spirit of Willie, or whatever, then his age wouldn't matter. What do you mean? Pure evil never dies. Oh.
I love Willie. I heart Willie. There we go.
It's a little
kind of
loose.
like the Leatherface version of Willie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
Oh
really
my God.
cool. White eyes. I think it's creepy as hell. That's
It looks really well shot. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the, that's the
it's a
one
lot
thing.
more.
too.
It's a much more serious looking horror movie than I expected it to be.
I love the public domain so goddamn
I
much.
agree. I know
Like-
some of my friends are not, but I am into it. Yeah.
I feel like, especially because it's Disney, I feel like the
Yeah,
copyright.
because they just stole all
for
this stuff themselves.
Yeah, but I love that. I love that now they can do literally nothing. As people make these Steamboat Willie horror movies.
It's so
And
funny.
there's-
They could be like, it's Mickey Mouse. It's like, no, it's just Steamboat Willie.
Mm.
I wonder if that's why they even put the name in, because it clearly has nothing to do with Steamboat Willie. The David Howard Thornton one does. This one does not. It's just the creepy ass mask and gloves.
Mhm.
I doubt anything else has anything to do with Steamboat Willie at all. In any way.
I think a true Steamboat Willie horror movie would be way too expensive because you got to get the riverboat. You got to make it really accurate.
Isn't the David Howard Thornton one like that?
Is it? I haven't watched
so.
any trailer
Yeah,
for that.
Oh my God.
I don't think we have the trailer, but
I'm gonna get
I'm going to get you the picture. It's amazing.
Wait, isn't it the Staten Island Ferry? Isn't that the joke of it? I fucking.
You know what?
See,
I don't really know the history of the actual guy.
He looks
I
so
just-
it's so stupid.
But it's so.
No,
good
you'll see it. It's so
You-
stupid in a great way. It's a wonderful.
Oh,
Look. This is awesome. I need to
It's
see
like
this.
a fucked up Ewok.
Oh my God! It does.
Oh,
Oh my
God,
God, it does.
now would have been a good chance for me to hold up my 12-inch dance mix of Ewok and
When you said 12-inch, I did not know where that was going.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were going with that one either, bud.
You know, I
I was
remember
like-
in the 70s, that guy Miko used to do disco renditions of Star Wars and Close Encounters, and he did a
Oh yeah.
Ewok
I remember
Ewok
that.
celebration, and I've got the 12-inch single dance mix of that. It's just awful, but that's why I have.
Awful. Hard to believe.
Oh, yeah.
Star Trek Disco. How can that be terrible?
Sounds great.
Star Wars Disco. Wait, is there Star
it's
Trek
it's
Disco?
well, get
Leonard
Miko's-
Nimoy, I know, did an album, at least one album.
yeah.
Oh, he did
that's
several.
fantastic.
He did
Yeah.
several. I got it.
Logo song.
Well,
I would say pick up Miko's
Bilbo,
Star Wars and
Bilbo.
Other Galactic Funk. It's been reissued on the new
is it
trendy
under?
vinyl.
I think it's,
It's-
Other Galactic Funk. I think it's called.
Yeah, and then he also did a 10-inch
I am totally down just with
EP
that
of
name.
The Empire Strikes Back disco.
Nice.
Amazing.
I know what I'm adding to my vinyl collection.
And speaking of disco, then we also need a horror movie out of the Brady Bunch Variety Hour.
Oh my God. Stop.
Holy shit.
I mean, They've only released 2 episodes on DVD. Everybody is screaming, we need all 9 episodes. But this would make a great horror movie. Like a, Psycho Family.
All right, if we're making...
Portal.
If we're making... Ooh, you know what? Here's a question for the panel. If somehow the Banana Splits movie made like $100 million, and they were like, you know what? Cartoon horror movies galore. What cartoon would you have the most fun turning into a horror movie?
Well, first of all, I have one that's not a cartoon that I would personally make, and that is Mayor McCheese. That's who I would like to make a horror movie about.
Well, you want killer cars? Get Dune Buggy.
No, I would do Speed Buggy or Wonder Bug.
Oh my god!
Cartoon horror movie. That's a good one.
It wouldn't be turning it into a horror movie because it already was horror themed. But I'm thinking Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh,
would be an awesome
that was a creepy cartoon.
Yes.
I'll be back.
That's how they die in the horror movies, and we never saw them again. I know it would never happen, but I would love to do like a legit Scooby-Doo horror movie.
Oh yeah,
so needed. Any
Like-
cartoon or movie after the original is, I do not enjoy. Maybe other people enjoy, and that's cool. But what you're talking about, I think
I would have so much fun. I mean, I loved it. Was a one-off joke in Family Guy, and I never want to give that show too much credit, even though I adore it. It was the joke. It's the Scooby-Doo murder files, and I was always like, "Huh, how come that's not a thing?" And I was just like, "You do everything with Scooby-Doo. He's literally been to space. Why can't I have one R-rated iteration? No, you give me Velma instead."
So when is that something that you could source from legally?
Ooh, I don't know. I really don't know. Especially considering that Scooby-Doo is actually supposedly getting some sort of live-action horror thing in the next couple of years through Netflix.
Like an scary horror?
Yeah, apparently, because somebody had tried to make a show on YouTube called Mystery Incorporated, and they were in the midst of doing their second episode, and Warner Brothers was just like, no. They got a cease and desist. They've been giving money back for the past couple weeks. But I only think that happened because usually the only times that companies will actively get involved is if they have something either similar or the same in development. So that might just mean maybe there is an R-rated Scooby-Doo on the horizon, and I'm just gotta wait.
And
I'm over here like.
But how would you feel if Scrappy was involved?
Oh God!
Oh, God damn it! No.
Right. Feelings
Tom and Scrappy-Doo were, when they came on the scene, the whole Scooby-Doo series was dead to me. After that, nothing.
Wasn't there a movie where Scrappy was being tortured? What?
He was the villain.
Yes, that was the live action one that had I think
no, it wasn't that.
Matthew Lillard?
No, Harvey Birdman.
It wasn't that. There was another one. I think I just remember. I'm trying to remember it, but it was like it was a recent movie. I've saw it on television, but it was like, and there's a scene where these people are walking. I'll have to try to remember it, but there's a scene where Scrappy is tied to he's on the rack and he's being tortured. It's not that movie you're talking about.
Wow!
It's not that movie you're
Is
talking
this
about.
just a fantasy of yours, Craig?
In that one, but it was like, you know how Ready Player One had all these pop
Right.
culture
Okay, that
references?
makes sense.
It was something like that.
Oh my God! It was drawn together.
Drawn together. That's it.
Yeah, but don't forget Harvey Birdman. They always had a hawk swoop down and take Scrappy-Doo away.
No one wants to have the. Somebody sent me a video because they know I'm a diehard Scooby-Doo fan, and they kind of changed my outlook on that character. I still hate him, but the crazy thing is that Scrappy actually saved Scooby-Doo from obscurity. He's a horrible character. He is not needed, but when they added him, Scooby-Doo got a huge boost in ratings.
Really?
And then they slowly drew back on it over the years because they were like, we don't like him. But Scrappy legit saved the franchise from just being dead in the mid-70s. Now
he's the Jar Jar Binks of the.
Oh,
it's the DVD set. This thing is impossible to find. The last time I saw one was on Amazon for $1,000.
Wow!
Wow!
And it
I'll give you
rolls.
$50 and the best hug of your life.
And dinner. So, but
And
here's
dinner.
here's a I guess I don't know if you want to call it a lunch pail.
Oh my god!
It's like a soft lunchbox. Interesting.
I also have
what the kids do nowadays,
it's
Neil.
somewhere over there, but I have a little fuzzy Scooby-Doo purse.
Made from the real Scooby-Doo. They.
Oh no!
And then here you guys, when we were talking about, I'll throw these in too. These are the two, each one has 4 tracks. You got them with box tops from Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes.
Wow.
Wow.
And these are in
so dope.
1969.
Whoa!
And they are in stereo. Whereas if you find compilations of TV show themes, for some reason, the Banana Splits theme on those is in mono, but these are in stereo.
Wow!
Wait a minute, Todd. Did you were you the one who commented when I posted the trailer in Without Your Horror? Because I put the Banana Splits theme song in the trailer for Waffle Cone Willie.
Yeah, that was me.
Yep, that was you. Oh my god, with the dope records.
Because I keep all my 45s in these old. Anybody remember "Come Sail Away" by Styx?
Come sail away, sail away
Oh my
with
God.
me.
Yeah, I got everything since I was a little kid. I never got rid of anything. So
I
I've
do
got
not
all
know
this.
how.
That's so
Annabelle, do you have a
talk about something on the show and Todd's there? He's like, look at this limited whatever from fucking outer space.
Look at this photograph.
Well,
Do you have a cartoon, Annabelle, that you'd want to see made into a horror film?
Garfield.
Oh, that's a good one.
Tuckerman's famous pig from Charlotte's Web, the Brady Bunch kids.
Aww.
Yeah, I got all kinds of crap.
Garfield just like puts lasagna over people's faces and eats it.
He turns into like an actual vicious creature. But now I'm worried it would be too much like Pooh because probably Odie would be there. Unless he slaughters Odie.
Damn.
John is like.
You never kill the dog.
Garfield.
That's Craig's.
I would make Garfield.
Boycott it.
I would make him like the hero horror protagonist, where like it's the situation where everybody else kind of gets killed off in a crazy situation, and then it becomes Garfield Wick. You
How about Captain Caveman? I think he.
And John is the murderer.
Captain Caveman.
Annabelle, I can't
Oh, if John's like a serial killer and keeps people in the house and he's talking to his pets like a freaking psycho. Well, not that people don't talk to their pets. I can develop this whole thing now.
Oh yeah, imagine if John was crazy. Imagine that Garfield was talking to him all this time, but he never was.
That would be awesome. Yes.
I was literally just talking with my dog. That's why I put myself on mute.
It's the son of Sam over
I
here.
like the plants, to be honest. Like, it's fine.
No, I don't. I've seen Little Shop of Horrors. I'm good.
So that's how you have to.
Day of the
befriend
Triffids.
them. Day of the Triffids. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
talk about plants. But you were just mentioning poo. I just had to show you for Christmas a treat was reindeer poo, little mosh. I don't understand.
That's
this
cheating,
country.
Todd.
I don't understand this country's obsession with poo, and now they got.
I agree, but at the same time, I think it's pretty amazing that there's so
Swirly
many
sweet
cute
vanilla
poop
treats.
toys.
Ew.
I'm gonna make a weird video out of this soon. It's gonna be very.
There's a video of me and Annabelle playing a poop game. What is it called? The poop
fun.
shoot. Poop shoots.
Yeah, it's little plastic poos, and they have little.
That was
cute
funny,
faces.
but this whole thing of making edible things shaped like
Yes.
poo is pretty.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm
Yeah.
gonna make a pretty sassy
Poop
video.
shoot is- you have a little toilet and you have to catapult the poops into the toilet. It's a very fun game.
It is very fun. It's very cute.
Although
So-
it was a hard time not
so
losing the poop around the room.
out there, that Todd, he is like a force on the show, but his freaking personal Vimeo page.
Oh, yeah.
You have no idea. You have no idea. You can see his
ventured into
review. It is nuts. That's how I really fell for Todd.
Then it's a positive. Okay, because
I don't know about everyone else.
I do know people that come to me and say, oh, we kind of went down a rabbit hole. We started drinking and watching your videos. And then we'd say, well, what's this one? What's this one? Because I got like 540 videos. And they ask me what drugs I'm on. And I tell them, no, I don't do drugs because that would actually hinder my creativity. So if I'm like this without drugs, they're just like, I think that's why I've been single since 1985.
Oh, you have
people don't know how to deal with me because
we'll be getting the screener for I Heart Willie if you want to review it, Todd.
Yes, sweet.
Okay, yeah, I like I told you, I had to pass up on just a few, like that air fryer one. But
fair enough.
And Lloyd's in that. That's what's so weird. Lloyd Kaufman turned up in that one. Yeah. But I'd love to. And the one thing I will say about all those reviews is that the one that I reviewed, the anthology I Slay on Christmas, Phil Herman was okay that I kind of trashed it.
Is that the one that was kind of like a battle for a little bit?
Well, that was the one where one of the directors within it.
Yeah.
And I didn't criticize his segment, but because I criticized the film overall, he was not happy with me.
And it wasn't like you trashed the movie either.
No, I was happy. You saw I had fun with it. And actually Phil Herman sent me a friend request. So it was okay. But so if I do say some negative things, I say positive and negative, and I have fun with it, but I did have to pass up on a few. I love that.
This is
that's mine.
Mystery Machine.
That's my Mystery Machine.
Stop.
So I'm going to tell you a crazy story. When I say I used to love Scooby-Doo, that was like my cartoon. I'm going to have to go soon because I got to take my dog soon. But this will be the last note. But one day, it's I think my 10th birthday, and my parents are like, Christian, we need you to go get something from the garage. I was like, okay. So I open, they follow me for some reason. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I open up the garage, and that's sitting there. Oh. And it's one of the coolest presents I've ever gotten in my life. I refuse to get rid of it because on the front of that is a custom plate that says Christian from not New Jersey, from Rue Jersey.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've been thinking of getting it running, but electrifying it and bringing it to conventions. I feel like that would be such a fun little, like a little niche thing. Set up a little driving course. You want to drive the Mystery Machine? Here you go.
That's a full size. That's full size?
No, it's a little. That's a little go-kart. It's a tiny little go-kart.
It's like an RC car?
No, I could fit in there. I'm 6'2".
I'm sorry.
Sweet.
And by the way, take note of the Batmobile sitting on top of it.
Oh.
And then the bicycle wheel next to it for reference of how big it is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, it's
so cool.
Cherished. It's cherished. I love that thing. And I've had people offer like a lot of money to buy it. And I'm like, I can't. My dad gave it to me, and I don't have my dad anymore. And that's my little connection with my pops. So
everybody wants this too, and it's like I just can't part with it. It's
as I said, dinner, $50 and a great hug.
The
Listen, I'm gonna have to go, guys. My dog is like literally begging me to take her out.
All right.
So
we'll see. We're gonna start taking calls when we just have one guest after the guest is on. So we hope to hear from you.
Great to have you here, Christian. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Where can people follow you?
You can follow me Arcade Productions, arcade like old school arcade machine. I'm there on the Instagrams. I will be better with Instagram, I promise. And then my YouTube channel, also Arcade Productions. And then check out Waffle Cone Willie next Saturday on YouTube and Baker Plus. Take care, everybody.
Let us know. I'll link it up.
Nice to meet you. Take it easy.
Good to see you, Chris.
Nice to meet you guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
He's great.
Thank God we got rid of
He's
him.
so
Oh, my
cool.
goodness.
See, again, he would be the kind of person I like to have lunch with.
Oh, I could see
You
get a hug out of it.
for your
Yeah, get a hug.
By the way, iHeartWillie.com is where you find out where you can get tickets because it's going to play just one day only.
Oh.
At the theaters, February 26th, one night only.
Not to be confused with the by far superior Waffle Cone Willie.
Exactly.
Yes.
Out this week.
Yeah, but we played the trailer. They sent us to us, so I wanted to mention it. Yeah,
Well, 2 days later, I will be in Orange County at the Frida Cinema because they're screening Hundreds of Beavers with the director and the main.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Hundreds of Beavers, really fun. I bet that's a fun movie to watch with an audience.
Oh, it'll be great, especially with the director and the Twos guy there. It'll be fun, but that will be fun.
I guess as long as you don't see with the one beaver that didn't get hired for the job.
Oh, you should hear some of the. I've been recommending Hundreds of Beavers to customers at the theater, and I say, when you go home, you got to see this. And you wouldn't believe some of the sassy comments I get from like elderly people.
Really?
Yeah, one woman said to me when I said, "Oh, Hundreds of Beavers," and she goes, "Oh, that's what my girlfriends and I call each other." And I just went, "Give me a hug," you know. And then, and then one guy was in there. They were probably like near 50, and I said, "When you get home, you got to see Hundreds of Beavers because it depends on which movie they're seeing, and I'll recommend things too." And the guy said, "Oh, hundreds? Well, I only need one." And the wife said, "Yeah, he's got me."
Oh my God.
I'm just like these. I love these people can feel that open to being sassy with me at work, and it's like I love them for life after that. So
you invite the sass.
Yeah, but no, that's going to be so cool because the Willie one, is that going to be like in theaters or just?
Yeah, no, it's in theaters. Just one day only. iHeartWillie.com. You can find out. I looked, and the closest one to me was Framingham, I think.
That's on Wednesday, and I'll probably be off. I can probably check it out. Fun.
It's cool though. It's the one in Framingham. It's at a I think it's like an AMC dine-in.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't know AMC did such things.
Yeah,
me neither.
It's kind of cool to hear some of these little smaller films kind of being released, even if it's for one day. We are seeing a theatrical release.
Yeah, I mean, Terrifier 2 started like that. It was like a 2 or 3 day thing, and it just kept doing so well. They extended it. So.
I wonder if it's like a little studio test now. We like, let's see what happens. And
I think indie horror is like the one like smaller budget thing that people actually do go and see.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
like the 80s all over again.
Yeah, I do recommend to go and do it because if you want more horror movies at the theater, if they sell tickets, they'll release more of them.
I think that
share more about the 80s all over again. I heard that and I'm curious.
Well, I think that's what Mike is doing with Astral Plane Drifter too. He's just doing the festivals now, and he still hasn't even got the characters' names on IMDb because he's kind of keeping it a mystery. Although a lot of people have seen it at festivals, still he's keeping it a mystery. And then building it up, they're hoping that it'll get into theaters kind of like that, and then get bigger. So that's what. Oh, and by the way, you've probably seen the post, but Astral Plane Drifter just won Best Late Night Feature at the Chandler Film Festival in Phoenix this past Sunday. So that's two Best Feature awards for it. And he always likes when I joke, like I haven't said it before, that I have 2 roles in the movie. So
I think Annabella was asking Craig what he meant by 80s all over again.
Yeah.
Well, when you start seeing all these movies that wouldn't never, especially horror movies, they're getting theatrical releases again. And that's like it was. I mean, it was like every week there was another horror film playing somewhere in a movie theater. And it's kind of nice to see that they're not, I know they were abundant on like the mom and pop VHS shelves of video stores, but it's kind of nice to see that there's an interest in it. I guess with the Terrifier coming out, that producers are saying, yeah, maybe there's something to there. Maybe there is
I
that
really
sort
do
of
think that was a
desire
big part
again
of it.
to see, because when you think about some of these movies that are $320 million blockbusters and they tank because there's no heart to them, it's all just spectacle, and you're like, well, we want to see something, I think it's kind of nice to see it. Just what made me think about it is I was doing this like small little horror Halloween venue out in Long Island, and it's a very small venue, not really big, but the amount of people who would go to these little haunts, like now they're doing a Valentine one. I see these promotions for a Valentine haunt.
Really?
I was like, really? I said,
I like this idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like scare your girlfriend, scare your heart. It's
cool.
Even as this one place here in Long Island called Bayville, they usually have their biggest. Well, think about it, like all these other like Great Adventure, they have all these scare fests and things like that. But those things have been around for so long, and now when you look at like the Terrifier and how you can't escape that was a kind of a juggernaut to a certain point, that producers are saying, well, I guess we don't have to make a $320 million film to make money. We can make a dozen, 4, 5, $10 million movies.
The Terrifier 2
money.
was like a few 100,000 and made, quite a bit. And this last one, I don't know I still don't think it was very high, and it made over 100 million. That was just, crazy. But even the second one, it was like, it was a couple 100,000, I think, and it made over like 15 million.
And also the 80s, they I don't know if they were at your theaters, but we had the original My Bloody Valentine and Hellraiser.
Oh yeah, I did see Hellraiser was re-released. That was cool.
We also had My Bloody Valentine, although I haven't heard whether it was the full uncut My Bloody Valentine or the R-rated theatrical cut, which I hate. But they brought those back too. So.
Yeah, nice. I'm a big fan of the original My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah,
I think it's. I used to say it was an underrated slasher, but it's not so much anymore. Like it is one that people talk about a lot more than they used to.
Yeah, a lot of these movies get tractions years later.
Oh yeah.
The accessibility is so huge now. Honestly, Tubi is really had an impact. I really think that Tubi has helped make things more accessible for people.
And even though you have to sit through commercials, it's still that they offer stuff that you wouldn't see anywhere.
I don't mind that. From what I understand, they pay the independent filmmakers a lot better than Amazon and different things.
This
comes out. All these other places, like there are.
Oh yeah, I saw that promotion for that.
Yeah, this comes out this weekend. Heart Eyes.
Yeah, I just saw that. They said the newest the promo was the newest horror icon, Heart Eyes.
Did you see the trailer?
I saw the trailer today, probably on Tubi or one of those, one of those. You don't have to pay for streaming services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Freevee or
Yeah, I think it was Pluto. Pluto TV.
Oh, Pluto's great.
I
was gonna go see it, but we're supposed to get 8 inches of snow this week.
Yeah, really? It's crazy today.
We're supposed to get a winter storm, but we got nothing.
But it works out for the best. Like I said, I'm gonna finish some stuff up for Arbor Day.
I will recommend one. Thanks to Tubi. I'm a big fan of this Mexican director who I've mentioned The Exorcism of God on this show before, but he just did a new one called No Voltees, which means don't look back, and it's a Tubi original. and which is I couldn't believe it. And yes, it had commercial breaks, but there's no other way I would have been able to see this. I accidentally stumbled upon the title and saw that it was on Tubi, and but that one I highly recommend, Noble Teas. But yeah, Tubi, you know, I said I hate that I got to sit through commercials and I can't zap through them, but I'm grateful that they're even offering this stuff.
Well, if you think about it, because if something's on Tubi, they can get Tubi can get the money from the sales of the commercial.
Yes.
If someone is a very popular director or actor or TV, and they're like, oh, we can sell advertising. I mean, I grew up with TV that had commercials.
Yeah.
I don't mind Tubi's commercial breaks because they're not like every 8 minutes. Like if you're watching TV Land, every 8 minutes or so, there's commercial breaks that run almost 11 minutes. Sometimes.
Yeah.
And here they spread them out and they don't take up all these big chunks of time. So I appreciate that. I think they know what they're doing by not inundating you and breaking every.
Yeah, and it keeps it free. I'd rather not pay for it. You know?
I think it is going back to, for those of us who did have the commercial days where you pay for all of these other services like you would cable, right? So you've got the Netflix and Max and all those things where you choose the things you want.
Yeah, and it starts to get very expensive.
And then you've got the other stuff that what would have been network stuff. It just has different names because it's not, you know, you're not having an antenna on top of your on your house anymore.
Yeah. I do have to mention too. So this last weekend was Severed Limbs 18. We made it through halfway, and then I was suspended from.
Like
Twitch.
really right in the middle of it.
Yeah, right in the middle, 2 hours in.
It's crazy.
And it was specifically, they told me, was because of exposed female nipples. So earlier in that program, there was a severed penis. Apparently, that's fine. Lots of gore and people being murdered.
Yeah.
but the exposed female nipple was too much for Twitch. That's also why I stopped doing them on YouTube. Was the exact same thing. Was exposed female nipples. So
maybe you have to privatize.
They're very anti-nipple here on the internet. So I need to find a new platform, and we will redo Severed Limbs 18 at some point down the road.
So what were you using for that?
Twitch.
Twitch is different. That's
but I mean, I've done the last like 5 or 6 of them off Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch was great, and they've had a lot of changes in the past.
Do they have a computer system monitoring that, or is there somebody from Twitch actually monitoring?
Yeah, I don't know.
Gonna have to go into. I'm learning about.
It's like Facebook. If you see the top of my bare hip in a photo, I'm thrown in Facebook jail for 3 days. But I know a bunch of other people who show their butts and they're fully naked all the time. No problem, but my bear, it's me. Yep. They're after me.
Gang, I gotta run, but it was great to see everybody.
Yeah, great to see you. Thanks for being here, Lexi.
Well,
have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night. I think that's so. How did they catch it? They just were.
Yeah, I don't know if someone reported it or if it was just, like if they just have a system set up where they scan it and see this. I'm not sure.
You do have trolls, and now you've got more trolls because of your Stuttering John foray.
Yeah, but this was on Twitch. I don't know if they bother.
Yeah, they're following you, waiting and biting.
It could just be yeah, it could have just been picked up on there.
That's what got me off YouTube was one troll who just kept hitting me and kept flagging my videos, and YouTube was just too lazy to actually check into my appeal. And
if
they
you're
would
not
just
making the money, then
and I just screw YouTube, and that's why I went to Vimeo. And as long as my titles say mature, which as you see, most of my titles say mature, I don't have any problems. So
so people suggested different things, so I'm going to look into them, and we will do it at some point. Not this weekend, but in the coming weeks we'll do it here. I'm not sure when exactly. We'll figure
I'm just curious, what's with the pimp hat you're wearing? I'm sorry.
Yes. Thank you for asking.
It's February, so I thought it's my Valentine's Day hat here. It's pink.
I like it.
Thank you, Tom.
I mean, I'm not into fabulous stuff. Okay, I don't do that. But
What you need is
well, I really wore it because we were doing. I was talking to Lisa Ovies, who is the director of Puppet Killer, and it's a big pink puppet. So I was like, this is a good hat to wear. It's a big furry hat, pink furry hat, just like the puppet.
It works. I mean,
I may have made Simon into my hat. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know about your ensemble though, because it's not.
Well, I was looking for something else
enough.
to wear, but I do have a black shirt with pink skulls, but I could not find it.
You need a big furry jacket with a big collar and a cane.
Like Tom and Jerry,
platform shoes, maybe.
Yeah.
He's Dolomite too.
Dolomite.
Hey guys,
I got
no. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't anything important.
Okay, there's a director I'm curious to know if any of you guys know about. I have 3 of his films and they just blow my mind. Have you ever heard of Isaac Hesbon?
Yes, yeah. I know him from Buffalo Dreams Fantastic Film Festival.
The Similars I've been recommending to people lately, and of course his
new movie was really cool.
El Incidente, but is this the one have used Parallel? That was his most commercial.
No. His new movie is a zombie movie.
If you like movies like Primer and stuff like this, Parallel is one of those movies that would just get into your head and you're just, if you blink, you'll miss something. So
is it more actiony or more?
I was trying to find this shirt, but I could not find this shirt.
Slim over there.
Well, these are more cerebral and somewhat, I want to say somewhat supernatural, but Parallel is about a mirror that if you step through it, it's a parallel, you go into parallel universes. And of course, so these friends start trying to change their lives and find out the truths about each other through these different parallel. It's hard to explain, but it will blow your mind. This was from Vertical, so this is his most commercial release. But I was just curious if anybody else had ever heard of this guy, because it amazes me how many movies like this, which are just so much better than most of the shit that's been in theaters recently, and then people don't know about these. So
that is a tough thing with independent movies, is because it's amazing that there are so many, but then it's hard to find, I think, sometimes.
Yeah. Now, people are always asking me, where can I see it? And I usually tell, I don't do streaming. I can't afford it. So, but a lot of people do. So I tell them, check streaming, because otherwise, I'm Mr. Physical Media. That's the way I've got to have it. But good. I'm glad, Neil, you've heard of him, because
I met him. I honestly actually interviewed him, but it was being recorded by the people that set it up, and they did not record it. So
no, that's so
it
cool.
was for
because
Fantasia Film Festival.
Wow, that is so cool.
For Fantasia, and they were recording it? Was it a setup?
I mean, it was a,
was that like the place that you had times? Is that something?
No, Fantasia is the big one in Canada, Montreal.
Oh, that's right. I know there was one.
I'm sure it's just a mistake, but still it did suck. But I should set it up with. So this was for his new movie.
I have not seen that. So I guess.
Well, if you would like to review it, I could probably set that up.
Well, please do, because besides seeing it, then I can just, obviously have these sitting around me when I do the review, because this guy, the thing that gets me about filmmakers like this is you just wonder what is in their head, that the creativity that they're able to come up with stuff that just, how do they do it? So that's, I
tell you, I'm fascinated people can, make movies, because it's just like, I was like, how are you guys doing it? How are you guys getting this done? Considering how much it costs and everything else that happens, it's like I'm just like amazed, because just how are you guys making all these movies?
Yeah.
I guess the difference is they're not really making it for. I mean, obviously, hopefully they're going to make it and they're going to be able to do more. But I guess you just do it because, well, you like to do it. You want to make a movie? Make a movie.
Honestly, it sounds like that's kind of the thing, is that people will go in and have no expectation of profit.
Yeah.
And I'm not a filmmaker.
That's nice.
I'm not a filmmaker. Everything I do is with my phone, and I use Movie Maker, so that shows you how limited I am. And yet people still ask me, "Oh, you're a filmmaker," because people have seen my short film on that Dark Side releasing Blu-ray. This is how, and I was shocked. And they're like, "Oh, that's such an interesting little film," and I'm like, I just did it for fun, but people think I'm a filmmaker, and I think that's funny because I don't know anything about making film.
Before you review the movie, are you okay with animals or children possibly being murdered on a movie?
Me? I'm all for
Not
it.
real
Not
life,
animals.
you know, in the movie. Yeah.
All about it.
Right.
Animals.
It has some it has some taboo subjects in the movie for a lot of people.
Animals do sometimes sadden me when they're killed in movies, but I don't understand why people get all bent out of shape when children get killed in movies. I don't. It's like,
it's a horror movie. That's why I think.
Because I think I forgot one critic or some person who does reviews wrote a book, the something taboo, killing children in movies. And I don't understand. It's like with Halloween 3, everyone still gets bent out of shape. Not everyone, but some people, about that kid getting killed with the mask.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's a fantastic scene.
The kid apparently had a blast doing it. So I don't get.
It's not like they really murdered the kid or something.
No, and animals, I do get a little sad. But
but usually meant to invoke that, you know.
Yeah, but if
it's not like, oh hell yeah, they killed that dog.
If it's Isaac Esbon, I'll watch a movie of him making ice cream for an hour or something. He's brilliant. So
yeah, it's also supposed to be more science fiction. This is a horror movie.
I like
zombie movie, but it's a different take on zombies.
But with him behind it, it's not just processed stuff.
Yeah.
He's got a bit going on cerebrally in that. Yeah, so definitely.
Greg, what's your take on the animal and child death scenes or torture scenes in film?
Well, if the kid's an asshole.
if he's asking for it,
he's asking for it. I mean, I was just thinking about like the non-horror related stuff. There's just two parts in the movie, non-horror related. There's a one scene in Hudson Hawk where they kicked the dog out the window. Oh. I hate to say it, I was cracking up at that because it was just so ridiculous and so funny how that happened. Because you know that it's not a real dog, but just how they drop kicked the dog out the window was funny. And there's something about Mary, that whole dog sequence. Oh, yeah. He's trying to resuscitate the dog, and he's putting the electrical wires, and the dog's popping up. It's not the real dog.
That's a bit more slapsticky.
Funny. It's like if it's slapsticky funny, or the scene where I forgot what movie. There was something about this, about talking about the animals and stuff like this, and they said you can kill a cat but not a dog because people cats are assholes. I know, but that's what.
I know. I always have to warn my friend Robin and Trista if there's ever cat death in a movie because they do not.
That is why I hate Argento's Inferno.
Really?
When that guy drowns a bag of cats, I just got so pissed. Well, plus, I didn't understand the movie.
But it got your emotions, as Neil was talking about.
It's all about it angered me, and then of course, it's not killing a dog, but Wes Anderson's Life Aquatic with Steve's.
Oh yeah.
When they left that three-legged dog running along the shore as their boat's going away, I was like, me and a friend, when we saw that movie, we walked out of the movie, and the first thing we said to each other, we were thinking the same thing was, I hate that movie because they left the dog behind.
Don't get me wrong, I love cats. I love cats.
Oh, I love cats. I love cats too. But cats.
My only issue really in a movie, I don't want to see like real animal deaths, like Cannibal Holocaust.
I can't deal with that. I can't.
One of the criticisms I hear about using especially the animal deaths, I think, because it seems like that's more universally a problem than kids, is that people will criticize it for like a cheap emotional reaction. Which whatever. I mean,
I love.
I mean, wouldn't all murder kind of should be the same thing, really?
It was.
I love Pink Flamingos, but now I always kind of turn my eyes away when it comes
I
to
don't
this.
need to see that.
The couple have they're having sex with the chicken, and
okay,
the chicken is just getting destroyed, and that's hard for me to watch.
This is not a real chicken, is it?
It was a real chicken,
alive,
and they were getting pecked because the guy was on top of the girl, and they were holding the chicken between them, and the thing is struggling and scratching, and it.
Oh, so no one's fucking the chicken.
No.
Oh my God! In my mind, I'm like, what? Because I have
they were just for some reason getting off on having the chicken, holding a chicken while they were having sex with each other, and of course the chicken died for real during that scene. But I think John, I don't know if he was joking, but he said, "Well, don't worry, later we ate it." But
they do say about Cannibal Holocaust too that they eat the turtles.
Well, I mean, how many, when you think about Zombie, where they would just shoot sharks?
Oh, yeah.
You know, because they just happened to be there for no reason. They would just kill these animals for no reason because it was like it was okay to kill a shark. It was okay to do this. It was all right to do this because
I didn't know
there
that was
wasn't
real.
ASPCA coming up there and saying, no.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know where they cross the line because I've heard some people said, "Oh, we had to be careful not to kill these flies or these cockroaches," but then in other movies, you'll see them just getting squashed. So I don't know where the line is drawn, really.
They were old cockroaches. They were going to die anyway.
Yeah, cockroaches are just. I'm sorry.
Cockroaches in Creepshow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe it was the greatest death scene as you know.
What's the matter? Got your tongue.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want them on me.
Do it first. Do it now.
I guess bugs are different.
Yeah, I think nowadays they can't even kill bugs at most stuff.
What was that, Craig?
I get, you know, I mean, I guess it's how you like. If you obviously cockroaches are considered to be vermin, so it's okay to kill a cockroach. Everyone does it. But I guess if you sort of make it an emotional moment, you know, like you do the story of the cockroach and you make him a hero, you know, people go like, oh, you know, I mean, everyone cried when, you know, I think of Watership Down, you know, most people are like, I would hate that rabbit. And I wouldn't have it.
I can't, I honestly,
Hazel dies.
That movie is yes, it's brilliant, but it's a movie that I don't know if I could ever watch again because it really destroys me, and it's just I don't know.
We watched it when I was like in the 3rd grade or something. I remember at the time.
Really? Oh my God!
Yeah, we watched it.
It's really funny because they used to have a role-playing game based upon Watership Down.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a whole thing. I remember because I told you I used to work in that store called The Complete Strategist. Which
we used to have
and
one.
They
in Boston.
had a role-playing game based upon Watership Down.
Tell me more. I'm so curious.
Pretty good, honestly.
Well, then along with Watership Down, also the Plague Dogs.
Plague Dogs. Richard Adams. Was it Richard Adams?
Yeah, and it was made by the animated Plague Dogs was made by the same people as Watership Down. That movie is tough because of the whole animal cruelty thing. What the whole movie was basically about, because I think we're the 2 dogs being in a medical testing facility.
Yeah, they were in a lab.
They escaped. So that topic right there had me, but I really had to see the movie and I loved it and I cried. And the ending kind of left you feeling slightly hopeful.
This is Plague Dogs? I haven't seen that one. I saw Watership Down.
I don't want to blow the ending for people out there that haven't seen, but I think the ending to me meant there was hope. But it's still a tough movie. That and Watership Down, I don't know if I could ever watch them again, even though it's like the movie Silent Running with Bruce Dern.
Oh, that's actually one of my favorites when I was I used to show it all the time on 38 or something.
When that one robot gets torn off and the other one is dying.
Oh, yeah, it's a really emotional movie.
I couldn't handle it. They were just robots, but it was done so incredibly that it's a tough movie. I bought the Arrow Blu-ray, but I only watched the extras on it because I couldn't watch the movie again.
Do you remember a little bit of trivia? There was a song that was in Watership Down,
Mark Garfield,
Bright Eyes,
right? I have the soundtrack.
And in that Wallace and Gromit movie, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, there's a scene where Gromit turns on the radio, and that song plays for a hot moment.
My God!
No kidding.
And I was like, wait a minute, I know that song.
Cool.
Oh my God, I haven't seen it in a
about
long
he's
time.
a rabbit,
so
so
I
it's
forgot.
connected to it. It was just a little bit of trivia for it.
The new version of it, I didn't think was very good. The new version of Watership Down. It was on Netflix.
I thought you were going to say Wallace and Gromit.
No, there was they did a new Watership Down on Netflix, and
Did they really?
Yeah.
This is
I was really looking forward to it because I love the original.
Yeah.
It was done.
Because they did a series after the movie. If you go on YouTube, there was a series that they did. I think it ran for a few. It was an English production. I remember watching a little bit. They changed the story around a little bit, but they did a series on Watership Down.
You know, they featured it in Donnie Darko.
Oh.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore was showing Watership Down to her class in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, and I remember buying the soundtrack to Watership Down. I still have the LP because I wanted the song.
Yeah, I wish I remember what grade we was. It was really young, so it was either third or second grade. But I remember, and thinking about it now, I remember watching it. You know,
and it was only PG. That's what gets me. I loved how PG movies back then.
Different
thing for a little kid.
You could get anything and everything in PG movies back then, and it was always like a toy surprise. You never knew what you were getting. And you know, now PG is.
You know, I think Jaws is PG, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, but even movies like Tourist Trap was just PG. And what gets me is in the 80s when PG-13 already existed, Beetlejuice just got a PG, Hairspray only got a PG, and Earth Girls Are Easy only got a PG. But if you really watch them, it's like, oh, that's a little more. So who knows what?
Well, this is PG.
What's this?
Let's show the. Oh yeah, Beast.
Actually, to be honest with you, it was G when I saw this in the movie theater. It was G.
Yep.
It was G rated.
Hey, Planet of the Apes, the original, is still rated G.
Because G was general audience. So
yeah, but then they had GP, which is then switched to PG. But yeah, you never. It's so cool. You kids, when I tell them, oh yeah, in the 70s, they never had a description of why it was rated, what it was rated.
Right.
You just went into a PG movie because I remember an audience I saw the sort of action comedy Stingray when that came out in the 70s, and it was just loads of cussing left and right, and some violence and PG, and it's like you never know what the MPA is thinking. But
I remember it was a huge deal to be able to see a Little Shop of Horrors in the movie theater. That was a
PG-13.
It was PG-13, and that was like a huge deal in my home.
Really?
To be able to allow me to see that in the theater.
Well, my parents didn't want me seeing R-rated movies, and I was pissed because, like, when I was 16, it was like I'm just 1 year away, but I couldn't see them. So I just said, screw it, because I wanted to see Eyes of Laura Mars. I wanted to see Saturday Night Fever. I wanted to see The Fury. And so I just went with a friend and his mom and didn't tell my parents. And after that, it was,
Todd.
Yeah,
Todd
I know.
Breaking the rules at the theater.
But then
hypocrites.
broke. It all kind of broke when my stepfather, for some reason, as conservative as he was a Cheech and Chong fan. He wanted to see Up in Smoke, and he didn't want to go alone, so he had me go with him. And then he took me to see Alien with him.
Really?
And he was disappointed because he thought it was going to be more science fiction-y instead of a monster.
It's really a horror movie in space.
Yeah, it is. But I just said screw it at one point and just didn't, and I ditched the guilt feeling, and I just said to my friend, "Hey, if you and your mom are going to go see it, I'll go with you." And
Little Shop of Horrors. That's the first
Yes.
musical I went
oh
to.
my God, Dom DeLuise.
Yep, that was
Wow.
at the Long Beach Opera.
And
The
I
Long
myself,
Beach. I don't know if that's still there or not.
I myself prefer the director's cut with the grim ending.
Yeah, the play has that ending.
Yeah, because the soundtrack album also reflects that version of the film.
And Dom DeLuise was Mr. Mushnick on that one. I went to see, which was pretty cool.
Oh, actually, in the director's cut, Jim Belushi was not the one guy. It was Paul Dooley.
Oh, really?
You know, when he's after he sings "Suddenly Seymour," and then the guy subs up and said, "Hey, that was a nice da." In the director's cut, it's Paul Dooley, not Jim Belushi, and I thought that was an interesting change.
Yeah.
Why did they do that? Because Paul Dooley was best friends with Bill Whedon.
What?
Fun fact. Yeah, Bill sent me a photo of him and Paul Dooley eating at a Carl's Jr.
Nice.
So so this is something I've been wanting to do for years, is the Guys and Fries calendar. And so I think we're early in the year. I'm trying to put this together. So we do have me, John Dugan, Lawrence Harvey. Now
Is Lawrence going to do it? You've been in touch recently?
Yeah.
Okay, this has been from 13 years ago.
No, and new additions. Dan Yeager is into it. He wants to pose with steak fries.
Mm-hmm.
Large fries. I said, okay. And then I'm thinking it's going to be the February, if we can figure this out, because it is going to be two people together for 1 month, and that is going to be Bill Whedon and Todd Yeager.
Yeah, I really, I mean, even if you have to Photoshop it somehow, but I would be so honored, because Bill has this thing with Sirloin and Dr. Zoomis being an iconic thing, and I think that would be great. So I mean, if only my tax return money was more, I'd just fly over. But whatever you can do, I mean.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We've got 10 months here to
Special
figure it out.
connection.
Because
It's adorable.
that would put me in 3 different calendars. I was in last year's You've Got Red on You calendar from Emily Black. And then in 2005, I was in the Bros 2005 calendar, which was bearded, long-haired men in naked and natural settings. So I was proud. I mean, to be in another calendar would be just so thrilling. So yeah, if you can do it, I would be so willing.
Yeah. I actually tried to get some people from Little Shop of Horrors on, but they're the original one. I mean,
wow. Did
there's
you
a couple
see
of them that they're still but they're one I think is 100 and the other one's in their 90s.
Wow. Well, maybe that's their time to shine.
I was told that they don't do interviews anymore.
Did you see the awful, something weird put it out, but the awful early 70s, Please Don't Eat My Mother?
No.
You haven't? It's
No.
a ripoff of Little Shop of Horrors.
Really?
Oh, wow.
With tits, basically. And there there was that, I forget the guy who directed it and produced it. That was all he put out back then, was, really. But
This year, though, it's the 40th anniversary you mentioned of Toxic Avenger. So we'll be having guests next week. It's also the 40th anniversary of Reanimator, which is one of my favorites. So
any guess from that?
I'm going to try to hook that up. And it's also the 40th anniversary of Friday the 13th, part 5. And so
what? Wow, 40th anniversary of a part 5 of something is pretty cool.
I don't do a sequel. Oh,
Melanie Kinnaman will be coming back to the show this year.
No booting this little puppy out there.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's such a cute.
That's Nikki.
Oh, look at that
so
face.
Cute.
How old is Nikki?
We're actually watching her for somebody, so I don't know.
Looks like a cuddler. Oh, God.
Pretty chill.
Okay, now I'm going to kick her across the room. Okay.
Holy crap. It's also, I just looked
She
up
looks
quick.
like an Ewok.
85 was friggin' amazing year. It's also the 40th of Day of the Dead.
Oh, yeah. I saw that at
Fright
the Varsity Theater.
The
Really?
stuff. I need to find the stuff people.
Seriously.
You know, it's funny when I first saw the stuff, I didn't like it.
What?
But then,
I'm kicking you off the show.
No. When I first saw it at South City Twin Cinema, I was like, eh. But then, of course, when it came out on VHS and stuff like that, you kind of like, well, I think I'll watch it again. And then, of course, I have the Arrow Blu-ray and all that. So yeah, I like. It's just that Larry Cohen's movies are hit or miss with me.
Oh no, yeah, they're either fantastic or
they're shit. Like Return to Salem's Lot, and
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
like,
What?
I don't like Q the Winged Serpent because
Oh,
to
I
me,
love Q. Q's
it's-
the one.
it's-
Q's the one that I would put in.
Craig is not happy with
Yeah,
it.
you got the stuff and Q.
But I love It's Alive.
It's
That one I
Alive. Yeah,
saw
you
that
got to
in the
put all
theater.
those in the.
I'm going to send Nikki to pee on your door saying that.
No, I'm sorry, but I just thought Q was a big talk fest. Nothing much happened, and then finally you got the monster at the end, and I was like, okay, all right.
Oh, it's pretty
But
wild.
I tried, and here's the thing, though. Maybe this will be better for me. I did get the soundtrack because I like Raglan's scores. He did Grizzly. So I do have the soundtrack to Q, if that makes it any better.
It's also the 40th anniversary of Legend. I know that's one of your favorites.
I just found through the miracle of the internet. Apparently, this is
Pazuzu?
very hard to find. Is Legend with the original Tangerine Dream?
Oh wow!
Score.
I thought Jerry Goldsmith did the original score, and then
Well, my original is whatever order it came in. My original was the Tangerine Dream.
Well, just to be sure, I do have both soundtracks.
I have a soundtrack, but this is the movie with the Tangerine Dream soundtrack.
Right. Didn't Arrow? I think Arrow released it. I think you had the option of either score of watching it.
Interesting.
I'll double check because I've got the big deluxe set from Arrow, and if I could be wrong, but I thought it maybe gave you the option of both either score.
That would be
So I'm gonna look into this for this year. We're in the year. I think it'd be fun to do like some anniversary shows, 40th, 30th, 20, those kind of things. 10th.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan when people say it's like the 37th anniversary of the 16th. That's all. That's great, but if you talk about that, you're going to talk about the anniversary of every single movie ever made every year. So you have to go with 10th, 20th, or I'll allow if you put the 5s in there, so 25th, that kind of thing. But anything else, no. I don't care about the 22nd. Tell me what's the 20th or the 25th.
So I'm going to say hello to Gary, and I appreciate his lovely.
Hello, Gary Dondo.
And I'll say hello to John, and then I will say good night because
We should wrap up here pretty soon because I've got to do some stuff in the morning as well.
It's only 8:00 here.
Yeah, I have to go to the post office. I got to pack some
Wear
stuff.
that to the post office, please.
What?
You got to wear your pimp
You
hat.
think I mind wearing this stuff in public? Do you know who you're talking to?
Pictures.
I will throw in one person. How you'd figure out to do it, but one person I would really love to see again, like on a podcast, Keith Gordon, mainly because when he's on podcasts, he loves talking about that movie I said is my all-time favorite movie, Static, from Mark Romanek. Recently, somebody on Twitter or something, Blue Sky, I don't know, mentioned to Mark Romanek, hey, do you think Keith Gordon or one of you guys could help get a deluxe edition of Static out? And Mark Romanek replied, I will make sure that movie never sees the light of day again.
Damn.
And people, and someone responded and said, people love this movie. And it's my personal all-time favorite movie.
Wow.
And yet Mark Romanek I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it, he's being pompous. And I would really like to see Keith Gordon, talking about everything he's done, because I think he's fascinating, but I would love to get Static, because he loves talking about it.
Before you go to bed, I do want to show you something, Annabelle. This is a friend of it's a 2 minutes.
Okay.
Esme, a new friend, Esme Oster, who's going to be at Dead of Winter. She's an independent filmmaker in Massachusetts. She'd send a screener for a movie that she's going to be making later this year. She's going to be coming on when they're close to that, probably this summer, and that is The Rat King. So here is the trailer.
Yeah. Hello?
What are you doing?
You know what to do.
No. No! No! Stop! Come on, I didn't do anything! No! No, I didn't do anything! No! 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 Stop! No! 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 No!
Hi, I'm Esme, the writer and director of The Rat King, a new horror movie shooting in Massachusetts later this year. The film follows a young girl who accidentally ends up joining a cult, but who hasn't been there, am I right?
Vivat Ratus Rex Deo.
Vivat Ratus Rex Deo.
The Rat King has something for every horror fan, from a haunted farm to psychological torture to human sacrifice. We have a diverse and talented group of actors, artists, and filmmakers, and now we need your help to bring our vision to the big screen.
Vivat Ratus Rex Deo. Vivat Ratus Rex Deo. Vivat Ratus Rex Deo.
With your support, we can take care of our team the way that they deserve and create a totally awesome horror movie. Remember, we all make sacrifices to get what we want.
It was
That
very
was cool.
Yeah, I
It was
thought it was a
very
really
well done.
clever idea for the pitch video.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
she'd sent me a bunch of photographs and stuff from the pitch book. It looks very cool. I will send it.
Very nice. And on
Very
this
well done,
wonderful
too.
note, I will say goodnight to all.
Good night, Annabelle.
Night,
Nice to
Annabelle.
see you again.
See
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off here soon too. But what is on your mind, Ludite?
Just called in to say hi.
No, hello.
Thinking it's better late than never.
Yeah, no, it's good to see you. We'll be back. We'll be back next week. We're gonna have the cast of the original Toxic Avenger on the show, and then afterwards we might take some video calls again. So
Darn, I
think
gotta work.
Actually, I would love to talk to them about if they remember this guy named Ralph Cordero. He was the one that was one of the effects guys on that.
Oh
movie.
yeah, actually, remind me, Craig, and I'll send you the link when we have them on.
That'd be awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Okay.
All right.
Good
We'll
night,
be back.
everyone. Thank you for
Good night,
having me.
everybody.
Guys.
Hit the like
night.
button, subscribe. If you want to help support the channel, become a member. It starts only $3 a month, and we will be back. See you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
Good night.